of work for you this time? Did it work for you? Was it worth throwing me off my groove? Was it?
Hey, I'm thrown off now too. Press pause.
Yeah.
Put the controller down. It's time to talk about the gaming industry. His name is Andrew.
It's all falling apart. It's all coming.
The world.
It's all coming apart at the seams, man.
The world is being destroyed. This is the Armageddon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the end of the world. His name is Andrew. My name is TJ Leo, and this is Press Pause, a gaming podcast.
Yes.
Episode 39.
I think
we're getting close to the old what they used to call middle age.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, me too. Well, how are you, my friend?
I'm all keyed up, man.
Yeah.
On everything, on all the news, on what I've been playing, which we're not going to be talking about this week because it's going to go on for way too long.
Yeah.
So we're just skipping that, which was a good thing because I have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is this. I gave Disco Elysium a second chance. Ooh. Boy, was that a good idea.
Oh, nice. Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing.
I felt it like it just needs something to get its hooks into me. I'm going to give it another shot. And it got its hooks into me. I'm like, okay, now you got me.
Funny you say that because I'm glad I gave Starfield a second try.
Oh.
Or an 18th try, I should probably say. So yeah, we will have some cool stuff to talk about next week.
Yeah, and I will certainly be done with Disco Elysium by our next show, so I'll be able to talk about everything. Except we may have to. Well, do we want that to be a spoiler cast, or do you not want to know about it? Because I know that you haven't finished it.
I will not finish Disco Elysium, so I don't care. We might even, if you want to do a spoiler cast extra episode, we could do that.
I don't know if I have that much to say on it, or if I will by the time I'm done with it.
Fair,
but
fair.
I could definitely, because I've really been slacking with the what have we been playing stuff. You've been carrying that for like the last 10 shows, I think.
Yeah, you've been stalker tuning it up.
Yeah, and I haven't.
It's okay.
Yeah, I haven't even played Stalker 2 for like a week and a half because I played Disco Elysium.
Nice. Well, that's okay. Maybe that can be topic of the week next week. Is our stuff and what we've been playing.
One more thing, just to bring it up while it's still topical. I watched the Devil May Cry show that Netflix put out.
Yeah, I've heard it's decent.
That's the.
I've heard it's like a 7.
I would not.
It's good.
I would not give it a 7.
Okay, where are you sitting at? Like a 5?
Yeah.
Have you watched the whole series, or just the first episode? Or
no, I've seen the whole thing that they've released. Okay. There is going to be more, so maybe that will pick it up. But these first 8 episodes are, they're kind of all over the place. I will say there's nothing wrong, with like the action. It's all pretty much what I expected it to be, which is pretty good. The animation's pretty good. Not a lot of rough patches in there. There was like one piece of falling rock in a later episode that I was like, that's just the same image rotated a few times and enlarged. But like, I mean,
if we complained about that in Disney movies, we'd be here all day.
Oh God, yeah. I do wish they were a little more dynamic with some of the camera angles, but I mean, that's nitpicking, right? Like it's fine animation wise. I will say it's probably better than the anime series that they put out like 20 years ago, because I wasn't even interested in that enough to watch beyond like 3 episodes. So
the original Black Power Ranger is the voice of Dante, right?
Well, not the original, the second one.
Oh, right. Adam.
Yeah.
Adam.
Johnny Young Bosch. He is the voice of Dante in this, which is weird because he's the voice of Nero in the games. I don't know what the reason behind that was, but he's fine. He sounds fine. He's great, actually.
He's in like a million anime, from what I understand.
He's in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so I don't think it had anything to do with him having worked on Devil May Cry. I think it was just
I think it was just he's
a big name for that industry.
Yeah, he's been deep in the voiceover industry for over 20 years. So
then why are you thinking around a 5? Why are you thinking it's mediocre then? Is it just the story is not great?
The story is yeah, like there's
I mean,
a
Devil
lot
May
to.
Cry's story has never been like the focal point of the games. So
No, but there is enough to work with there. Like after 5 games, 6
it's
if
a
you want
Demon
to count.
Hunter show.
Yeah, but
You know,
like after
with
all the
pizza.
games, there isn't even that much pizza in it.
Is there a naked Dante, his genitals being covered up by pizza?
No, he does look for one of his misplaced guns and finds it in a pizza box at one point.
But there's no like slow-mo thing where he's like naked covering
No,
up.
no, that isn't in there.
What?
Although elements of that fight are in an episode of the show where his office gets torn up. It's his apartment in the show, but whatever. But it's got like, he does the thing with the cue ball and hits all the pool balls and they scatter around and hit all the people and all that. That's in there. The jukebox is in there,
Okay.
So that
a bunch of that is in there. Neon sign in there?
No.
Man.
No. This is prior to that.
Oh, this is a prequel series?
Well, it literally does not fit in with the chronology of the games. It's not canon. It's its own thing.
All right. Well, sure.
But it's just like there's a lot you could have done with that story. There's a lot of places where you could have expanded on that story, and it's all like really, really basic and kind of just rushed to set it up. Oh, but then we're like, at the 11th hour, we're going to develop the villain's backstory to make him a sympathetic character. But it's kind of hard to done that when you've already firmly established that he's a monster. It's like there's
you got to do that much earlier.
Yeah. Or you've got to at least allude to it earlier.
Yeah, sprinkle it in throughout the season.
There's like one hint that there's more to him than meets the eye, like halfway through, and then it's like literally the second to last episode is the backstory. It's like, okay, well, it's a little late to make me sympathetic to him now when he's like, you better be here, Dante, or fucking I'm gonna tear shit up. It's like,
brutal. That sucks.
Also, they firmly plant it in the real world instead of the sort of pseudo real world of Devil May Cry, where they don't really specify where any of this is taking place. Maybe Europe, because of like all the old buildings and churches and stuff. But they never really, they leave it very ambiguous where and even when it takes place. Here, they're like, this takes place in America. And here's the president, who is definitely not Donald Trump. We know that he's fat and he has gross hair, but he's also got a cowboy hat. So he's not Donald Trump. Also, the vice president has like white helmet hair and is super religious, but he's totally not Mike Pence because he's got sunglasses on.
You mean Vance? JD Vance?
No, I mean Mike Pence.
Oh, it's a mimic of him?
No, it's definitely not because he's got the glasses.
But who is Mike Pence?
He's Trump's previous vice president
from
his first presidency.
Gotcha.
It's not him. It's not him because he's got glasses, and that makes it totally different.
Yeah.
Also, he's voiced by Kevin Conroy, so they must have recorded this a while ago. Because he died a few years ago, so they must have recorded it a while back. But they just like they establish all this stuff really, really quickly, and then boof.
It's just poof, it's over.
Yeah. Like there's no it's like we need to get all the setup out of the way really, really fast so that we can focus on the rest of the story, and then they don't really focus on the rest of the story.
Is it one of those things where it's half the season is out and the second half is coming, or is it season one is over?
It certainly feels like the second half is coming because the episode ends with the villain saying a sinister thing and then dropping into the water. And then it's like, you're going to regret this.
So it's either a really bad finale or...
Well, they're clearly setting up for more, but it feels like there should be an episode 9 to finish it off. Because it's like, okay, he's clearly going to turn into some kind of boss monster. But
I could be wrong, but I think they confirmed that this is going for 3 seasons already.
Probably.
I could be wrong on that, but...
But this is...
not great.
I hope that it gets stronger. Castlevania got a lot stronger. But this is just like... meh.
Yeah. So that's a straight 5 on our scale.
I was looking forward to it too, and it's not terrible. It's serviceable, but like the standard.
You don't want serviceable for things that you have nostalgia for.
Well, that's the thing. I don't even have nostalgia for Devil May Cry. I've never actually really been all that into the games.
Yeah, okay.
But I like the characters and I like the action.
Yeah.
I like pretty much everything about Devil May Cry except actually fucking playing it. It's a weird thing, but I was like, maybe this could be the DMC that I like, because I've always bounced off the games. Maybe I'll enjoy it more as a TV show.
Yeah.
And
it's funny. Yeah. We've talked about it before, but the only Devil May Cry I enjoyed was the one that everyone hates.
Yeah. It's funny, like, if this had come out, 10 years ago, I probably would have been like, yeah, it was pretty good. But, in recent years, the standard for video game adaptations into other media has risen considerably. I still don't have super high expectations for any of them.
No.
But I have much higher hopes than I used to.
Yeah, and then when you compare them to other things in the medium, like Castlevania, or
Castlevania was great.
I heard Tomb Raider was pretty decent too, or I think it's called Lara Croft.
I've only seen a little bit of it. It was what I saw was okay, but I only saw the first episode.
That's fair.
Just because I'm not a huge Tomb Raider guy.
Are you going to watch the rest of whatever this? I mean, if it's season 2 or
whatever the rest that comes out is.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
Well, I hope if it follows the trajectory of Castlevania, which got considerably better in its second season, then yeah, I'm hoping that'll happen. So yeah, I'll watch what comes next. But it's know, that when they showed off the opening that they did, I was super hyped because it looks great. It looks better than anything else in the show. Yeah. I just meh. It could have been so much better, and I wanted it to be better, and it wasn't. It was just
fair
okay.
Enough. Well, I'm not watching anything new. I finished Paradise, which was great, and now I'm just kind of somewhat watching Star Trek Voyager.
oh man!
Just a trip back through time.
Oh man! Oh
yeah.
The show where Janeway did nothing wrong, except for that one time, and that other time, and also that other time.
Yeah, she's definitely not perfect. That's for sure.
And the best part about that is you can fill in whatever you want for those times, and you'll be right.
I like the show. It's the Star Trek that I grew up with. Voyager. So. Yeah,
I absolutely adore great. Voyager.
Janeway is
one of my favorites.
Sure. But Janeway's great. I love Chakotay. I love Seven, Neelix. They're all fantastic. The Doctor's probably my favorite though.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's just he's such a good actor, and
Robert Picardo's awesome.
So awesome. But yeah, it's a great show, and I'm loving the nostalgia going through it. I'm like 4 seasons in, something like that. So.
Yeah, Harry Kim, except it's not really Harry Kim; it's that clone.
It's the clone, the duplicate of Harry Kim.
It's just like we're just gonna not bring this up again.
And Naomi, even though it's not really Naomi, it's the duplicate of Naomi. Same thing.
Or that one time, two of those characters fused together, and they're like, "No, this is cool," and Janeway's like, "No, it's not."
Yeah. We kind of want we want our friends back. Sorry, kill them.
Yeah. Or there's, of course, the episode that you always have to mention when you're talking about Voyager. I fucking forget what it's called, but it's the one where they de-evolve into lizards.
Yeah, God, that's terrible. That is one of the worst episodes. I'm past that point, but yeah, that was when Tom broke the warp 10 barrier and he started to he started to evolve. He started to evolve really fast, and then Janeway for some reason also did that.
Yeah, and then they turned into lizard creatures, and they had babies.
Yeah, it's like who wrote this? This is terrible.
What the hell?
Even from Star Trek standards, it's
look. I love that episode, not because it's good, but because it's just fucking weird. And I wish more shows would do weird shit. I mean,
it's Star Trek. There's always weird fucking episodes in Star Trek.
I would like them to do weird shit better than that, but that episode is just it's such a trip. That they should fucking teach that shit in film school as hey, all the weird stuff here, that's kind of cool. Just do it better than this.
Yeah. Yeah. Great show, though. It's a
Great
show.
show.
We could do an
Voyager.
entire random encounters on Star Trek.
Oh,
Voyager.
God. Could we, though?
I could. God, I could go through every episode talking about it.
We keep saying we could do a random encounters, and we've yet to do one that comes out.
Yeah, we've yet to do one that comes out. That's definitely true. It'll happen eventually. I know. I'm confident that it will happen. It's just a matter of the gusto.
We're gonna be like
happening.
80 years old, and we're like, oh, it's finally time for the debut episode.
Yeah. If YouTube's still around, then.
Yeah. If we're still around, if we make it that far.
Around. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So. Housekeeping, as always, we're on Spotify, so if you want the audio-only edition of the show, which we wouldn't recommend anymore, honestly, the video edition has got we have the view screen now for sharing images and content. So plus we have the screenshot scope game that we play at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Very dependent on being able to see us, so would highly recommend not getting the audio version. But for those that just like to listen to us rant, go for it. And of course,
I feel like there was something I was supposed to correct you on, and I fucking forgot what it was.
There was something for me as well, but because I was like furiously paying attention to all the goings on this week, it's just I was like, whatever. Something last week was wrong. I know that. Yeah,
something last week was wrong, and it was specifically something that you said. And let's get that on the record. I just don't remember what it is.
No, I know what you're talking about because I remember as well. I was like, that's not right. Yeah, I think I was watching some other podcast and someone mentioned something and I was like, oh, maybe it'll come up.
So for anyone who watched last week's episode and was like, oh, I can't wait for them to correct it, go ahead and leave your angry comment because we're not going to do it. No.
If it comes up in my head, I'll definitely mention it, but I don't remember at this moment. And for those of you who want to join the Co-op Club, the Co-op Club is our Discord community server. We got a bunch of people in there that we talk to every day. It's quite fun. So come on in and join us if you're on Discord. The link is in the description. All right, so we're gonna skip what we're playing. So we're gonna go right on to our first segment, which is Happy Birthday Video Games. Happy Birthday Video Games. This is a short one. April is not a typical gaming month.
No.
It is nowadays, but over the last 30 years, not so much.
Yeah, historically, it's
pretty weak.
Not really.
Yeah, so I only have one from 10 years ago. And you might not even know it. I do because I played it and I loved it. But Titan Souls. Happy birthday to Titan Souls.
I vaguely remember the name. It's
an indie game that was on PlayStation. It may have come to other platforms. I'm not sure. But it was picture Zelda, the 2D Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself only one weapon, which is the bow and arrow. And you only have one arrow. And when you shoot it, if you miss, then you have to bring it back to you. You have to it comes back to you like a homing beacon back to you.
I think I remember this one.
And it's basically Shadow of the Colossus in 2D. So every boss fight, it's just boss fights.
Oh yeah.
You have to hit them one time. You have to hit the boss once.
One spot.
But there's a specific spot, and they have patterns to make sure that it's really difficult to hit that one spot. And if you get hit one time, you die, and you have to restart over. So some of the boss fights you can walk in and instantly kill them if you're good enough. But then others, it could take you upwards of 15 minutes to get to that perfect angle, and then you have to make the perfect shot.
Yeah.
Too. But it's a great game, absolutely great.
That's what is that game? I think it's Lunar Pool on the NES, where there's a way to instantly get all the pool balls in all the holes in one shot. But you got to know exactly what pixel to aim at and what power level to hit it at.
Yeah. Except that's the whole point of this game is one shot kills every single boss. It's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend it. It's excellent, and it's it's kind of like Elden Ring, where you have this giant world, so you're never fighting the same bosses in the same order. You can explore, and if you try one boss and you can't beat them over and over and over, you're like, fuck this. You can leave and just continue to explore the map and find some other one to fight. I think there's more bosses than you need to beat the game.
Okay.
So you don't have to get them all. So it kind of gives you the opportunity to, fiddle around and go to somewhere else, take on another boss if you're stuck on a particular one. I'm sure that there's like a true ending if you beat all of them, though.
Probably.
But it's a great game. Highly recommend it. Play it if you haven't. 20 years ago, happy birthday, Psychonauts.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great game. I did not like Psychonauts 2. It felt very old. I did not. I think I played like the first level and a half, maybe, and it was like, nah.
Psychonauts 2 feels like one of those games that's like, hey, people are suddenly nostalgic for that game we made like 10 years ago. We should make a sequel, and it takes them like 10 years to make it. And by that time, it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah. It took them way too long to make Psychonauts 2. And the problem with Psychonauts 2 as well as the opening levels, it's too insane. Like it's just so out there that it's very off-putting. If it had been deeper into the game, then it would have been funny. But because it's the first level, it's like, whoa, what is happening? This is just too much. But Psychonauts 1 is hilarious. It's basically like Rugrats with some more adult type humor in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like vulgar or anything, but it's deeper. And then 30 years ago, happy birthday to Jagged Alliance. The first Jagged Alliance came out.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 3. And one of my personal favorites, Full Throttle.
Also directed by Tim Schafer.
Yeah. Great game. Motorcycle, biker, point-and-click
adventure kind of thing. Yeah.
It's great. My dad and I played it when I was young. On DOS. Great game. So that's it. That's all the notable ones I could find. There's definitely other games that were listed, but especially 10 years ago, like 90% of the games I was looking at were like ports. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that game came out before this. So Titan Souls was the only one I could find for 10 years ago. But happy birthday to those classic gaming experiences. All right, let's move on to the Metacritic Check-In. The Metacritic Check-In. Let me bring up, if I can find it in the thousands of tabs and shit I have open for this crazy episode. I'm not sure if we talked about this one. It's not on my list, so I'm pretty sure we haven't. But the first Berserker, Kazan. Souls game.
Yeah. I don't think we talked about that.
Okay. So it's sitting at a 79 from critics.
Okay.
And an 82 from users. So
pretty in line.
Yeah, the through line seems to be that this is a Souls game for Souls fans in terms of its brutal difficulty. It is a knock your fucking block off. If you don't like hard games, don't play this type game.
Yeah.
This is a classic Souls, like maybe even more difficult. Most of the reviews describe it as so incredibly demanding you have to be nearly perfect in the combat. But when you are, it's fucking satisfying. So there's that. I did play the demo, and I immediately realized that it is not a game for me.
Oh yeah,
I'm not a Souls guy. Elden Ring was an anomaly. I think Elden Ring was an anomaly because you could really like go anywhere and do anything, and you get stuck somewhere, you can go somewhere else, come back later. Like, you can kind of do that in the Souls games, but they're definitely more grindy in that sense. You kind of have to just like bash your head against the wall.
Yeah, and there are choke points where you have to go through them. Yeah, and you just can't. Like, there's no way around it. Like, you have to go through Sen's Fortress at some point or another. There's no way around it because the other half of the game is on the other side of that.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to like backtrack to a save point in the Souls games.
It takes forever until you have fast travel, which you don't get until later in Dark Souls 1, at least.
Yeah, at least in Elden Ring, you can just be like, you know what, peace out, and just backtrack. And most like it's much more generous in its checkpoint systems. Also reviewed this week is a game you and I have kind of been keeping our eye on and we're highly anticipating, and that's South of Midnight. Compulsion Games, new game, the one with the girl in the swamp and the big fish, all that good stuff. Sitting at a 77.
Okay.
by critics. They're saying it is a fairly straightforward action adventure title that is incredibly lifted by its artistic design and story.
That sounds kind of in line with my expectations.
Yeah, me too. I was expecting an 8, and that seems to be just about where the through line is. So, I don't think it's going to be the hit that Compulsion needs it to be. So I'm a little concerned.
I mean, as long as it's better received than We Happy Few.
Yeah. Time will tell. We'll see. We'll see what it does.
Trajectory right there.
Yeah, I think it being. Is it a first party title?
You remember how like The Witcher 1 was not generally well received because it was kind of boring and stodgy, and then Witcher 2 was like, oh, this one's pretty good, and then Witcher 3 is like, oh my god, this game's fucking incredible. Mm-hmm. Like you just 3 titles can be all the upward mobility you need.
Yep.
So if this one is okay, and then the next one is great,
yeah,
they're set.
Work your way up, Compulsion.
Just don't do a Cyberpunk.
No, don't do that. Never do that. And yeah, no, they're a first party studio, so I think they'll be fine. And they'll be on Game Pass. Mm-hmm. I think it comes out tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. It's soon. I know that. So I'll be playing that, and I'll be able to talk about that soon.
Excellent.
Hopefully it's not broken like Adam Falls still is. And then finally, the remastered version of Croc came out. Remember Croc?
Yeah, I remember
Legend
Croc.
of the Gobos.
I did not like that game back in the day.
It was fine.
I picked it up and I was like, I hate this. I don't even remember why I hated it, but it just immediately...
It's just the most standard PlayStation 1 era,
I guess,
platformer ever. Like it
felt entirely unremarkable. And
it is
like everything else.
Yeah, it really is just completely unremarkable. Why it got a remaster, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's sitting at a 69.
Nice.
From critics, and an 82 from users. So
that's bizarre.
Well, I have a feeling that the only people that would pick up Croc are fans
people
of
have
Croc.
Fond memories of it.
Yeah,
that checks out.
Seems unlikely that it would get shit on by users.
Unless it was people going like, "Wait, I liked this. This is terrible."
Yeah, exactly. Right. And that is it for the Metacritic check-in. So let's move on to the news, and we're going to start off with the non-Nintendo news. I'm sure everyone out there is 100% aware that the biggest news of the week is the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal. But we're gonna do all the other stuff first. So the first thing is, it's April. It's time to look at the games of April 2025. Something we do at the beginning of every single month. As always, we just do notables. So there's like 1,000 games that come out every month. I'm not going to list every single one of them. I'm just going to kind of list the notable ones, starting with Croc, which is already out as of this recording for Windows, Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. No PC. Oh yeah, PC is in there. Yeah, Windows. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is now out on PC, which also means that the free update to the PlayStation 5 version is out as well. I'm not sure if they added they didn't add it to the PS4 version. So the PS5 version got the free update as well. I've already played it. It's a little disappointing. I was expecting a little bit more, because normally in the no return mode you get you have a character, and then they have a series of unlocks, like some goals that you have to beat in order to like unlock specific stuff, and they don't really have that. It's very thin. It's basically just, here's a couple new characters and 4 new levels, and it's like, okay, it's free, so that's cool. But it didn't blow my socks off. What else is coming out? Ixion is coming to consoles on the 8th. This is the remember Startopia?
Not immediately. Hold on,
it's the space station simulation game from PC back in the 2000s, I think it was. You're on like a space station that's like circular, and you like You have to like manage it.
I remember there being like a few games like that.
Yeah, Startopia was, I think, the first one. I have it still on my on disc.
Yeah, I don't remember it specifically.
No?
I'm
Okay.
looking it up, and it definitely exists.
Yeah. So,
But I don't remember it personally.
gotcha. Well, Ixion is kind of in that vein, but a little bit more like realistic, I guess, less cartoony.
Okay.
I've had my eye on it for a while. I'm waiting for reviews to see how that turned out. South of Midnight comes out on the 8th. So that's 4 days from now. I got that a little wrong. I think the early...
Hold on a second. Did they remake Startopia?
Yeah, well, kind of. It was called
Starbase Startopia or Space
Yeah,
Base?
Starbase.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering why I was getting two results for things that looked similar but different. And okay,
yeah,
so that
I think there's some sort of IP conflict,
Yeah.
so they had to rename it when they did that.
Okay.
Not entirely sure. I never played the whatever that re-release was.
Yeah, because there's one here that looks very much like a PS4 game, because it is. And then there's one that I'm looking at that is overwhelmingly an early 2000s game, right down to the fucking logo.
Yeah, that would be the one that I played.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the early 2000s one. Played it a lot. It was a good game. Yeah, South of Midnight coming out on the 8th, so that's 4 days away. I think people who pre-ordered it or bought the premium edition got it early, so I think that's out today, if I'm not mistaken.
I cannot imagine paying extra for a game just to get it a few days early.
Yeah, I've done it once and then I never did it again because it was stupid.
That's the insanest shit to me. Like, yeah. unless it was like that and a whole bunch of other shit.
Oh yeah. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy like an edition that just gave me early access only. I got like the collector's edition of the game, which came with early access. But I haven't bought a collector's edition of a game since. That's for sure. I think it was Assassin's Creed 3. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, South of Midnight. Commandos Origins comes out on the 9th. I think this is a remake of the original Commandos game, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
It's like a real-time tactics kind of style game. Not for me. I don't like these games that are like RTSs, but with like only four people to control. It's just like, I don't know. They're not my type of game. They're very
and yet
panic-inducing.
You like Full Spectrum Warrior.
Yeah, but those games, the enemies don't move really a whole lot. You know, like it's kind of a puzzle more than it is a.
That's true.
You know, whereas in like games like Commandos and there was a bunch of games that came out that are like this.
Cannon fodder. Yeah,
like the enemies move, so I'm like constantly like, oh, your dude over here is now getting shot. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, it's just it's too much micromanagement for me. Descenders Next also comes out on the 9th. That's the downhill sports and racing game. I've played the old Descenders games and I didn't like them. They're those games where your bike is going towards the camera, so you can't see where you're going. You have to react as you're going down the hill. But I think Descenders Next is more of a traditional third person, from camera from behind type of game. So it might be better. I think both Commandos and Descenders are coming to Xbox Game Pass, if I'm not mistaken. So I will potentially be able to try out 3 games that week. What else is coming out? Blueprints coming out on the 10th. That's that super cool looking mansion puzzle game with the rooms shift around. That's coming to Game Pass and I think PlayStation Plus. So I'll be able to play it anywhere I want, which is really cool. Can't wait for that game. High on my list. What else? There's a lot coming out on the 10th, but I don't recognize 90% of it. The remaster or remake of the Talos Principle is coming out on the 10th as well, for Windows, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. Highly recommend that game if you like Portal. It's a Portal-like without portals, if that makes any sense. But with a really cool...
So what you're telling me is you're not thinking with portals anymore.
No, you're thinking with lasers. You're thinking with wind. You're thinking with
I like
thinking
lasers.
Yeah, lasers are very cool. You're thinking with force fields. You're thinking with a whole bunch of other stuff. The tip to do puzzles. It's very difficult. It will tax your brain, especially if you go into the DLC, which this game includes, or this version includes. Highly recommended though, and it's got this whole like psychological, no, not physiological. Nope. What's the word? What's the word where you theorize about stuff? You take a deeper look into things.
You mean philosophical?
Yes, philosophical. That's the word. I knew it would start with a P.
There
somewhere
you go.
in there. Yeah, it has a philosophical story where you're making choices and you're talking to people, or not people, someone. You're talking to someone about like the nature of existence. You know, the nature of individuality and all this kind of stuff. It's very, very cool. Highly recommend it. Coming out on the 14th is Forever Skies. I'm so excited for this one. So excited. This is the Subnautica-like above a poisoned Earth or planet. Might not be Earth.
Some sort of hospitable place rendered inhospitable.
Yeah, there's this like death fog, and you're hovering above it in your blimp ship thing and exploring the world and crafting and surviving, and cannot wait for that game. So excited. That will tide me over until Subnautica 2. Let's see. Bionic Bay comes out on the 17th. That's the one that we were talking about last week, how it's kind of like Super Meat Boy, where you're running through levels and using time manipulation to get through them. That one looks really cool. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle makes its way to PlayStation 5, also on the 17th. Again, I did not like it, so I can't really recommend it, unfortunately. If you're a fan of Indiana Jones, I'm sure it's fine. I mean, I am a fan of Indiana Jones, but there was something about that gameplay.
So I don't have an opinion on it.
Yeah, I can't recommend it. I can't. Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree, this was a game that was in the Switch 1 Direct from last week. And there's a demo out for it. I haven't played it yet, so I'll be able to talk about that next week. Man, we're gonna have so much to talk about next week just from gameplay alone.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to talk about that. Tempopo also comes out on the 17th. That was that game that we also saw at the Nintendo Direct. I
just remembered. I just remembered what you were wrong about.
Oh, okay. So something about the Direct must have been.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's because you said the name of a stupid thing, or the thing that has a stupid name. You
Patapon?
said that. Yes, you said that the Patapon collection must be coming out because of that imitation game Ratatan. Ratatan is made by the same people, or at least the same director. So it's not an imitation game; it's a spiritual successor. Now that he's elsewhere and doesn't have the Patapon IP.
Yeah. Interesting.
There,
okay.
That's what you were wrong about. And I'm pretty sure I even said, wait, isn't it the same people?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that's weird. Well, so Patapon must be owned by Sony?
Well, it was a Sony, like...
it's by Bandai Namco, I know.
Yeah, but it was a Japan studio game, and I guess they must have passed it off to Bandai Namco or something.
Well, it's weird because it's being released on Switch now, so I don't know. I don't know what the ownership there is. That's very strange.
Yeah, maybe they shouldn't have gotten rid of Japan Studio.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to blame them after the Last Guardian.
Right, but anyway, I interrupted you.
No, that's okay. All good. Yeah, Tempopo comes out on the 17th as well. That was that music rhythm game with the little girl and like the squares moving around and stuff. I commented on it last week. Lunar Remastered collection comes out on the 18th for Windows, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
God, there's so many versions of Lunar 1.
Why is there no PS5 or Xbox Series version? Or is that already out, maybe? Nope. Okay, so they're just not doing a PS5 version.
There's
Xbox Series version.
There's the Sega CD version. Then there's the PlayStation version, which is actually got some significant storyline differences. Then there's
Weird.
the GBA version, which also has significant storyline differences. I don't know why they kept remaking this first game.
I don't know. I think this is the PlayStation version, if I remember correctly.
Well, probably because then they put out a PSP version that has some new stuff, but is largely based on the PlayStation version. So it's probably just that.
What if it? No, it's the Sega CD version, apparently.
Okay. I've never actually played the Sega CD version. I've only played the PlayStation and GBA versions.
Well, there you go, folks. Post Drama comes out on this 22nd for Windows, PS5, and Xbox Series. That's a survival horror game. Sunderfolk. We talked about that last week. That's the new game from Dreamhaven, the multiplayer turn-based tactics game with the phones. We talked about that. Oh wow, jeez, April's beastly. My God, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 comes out on the 24th. Highly anticipated.
Oh
RPG.
yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Coming out for Windows, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. Man, that's a big one, and that's coming out on Game Pass as well. So I will have a lot of games to talk about on the show later this month. Days Gone Remastered comes out on the 25th, PlayStation 5. I get that as I don't know whether I'll get it or not. I'll wait and see. It's only a $10 upgrade, but I played it twice, and that game is fucking long. So I don't know if I really want to commit to it again. But it's a great game. Forza Horizon 5 makes its way onto PlayStation 5. The first Forza game to migrate off of Xbox. And that, I believe, is that. So a lot of stuff to look forward to in April, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's get into the rest of the news here. Starting with, we always start with the sad stuff. Again, this is not specifically, gaming related per se, but rest in peace, Val Kilmer, who passed away. I think he died from cancer, I believe. Yes, he battled cancer for years. He lost his ability to speak due to throat cancer, but his cause of death was actually reported to be pneumonia. Man, that sucks.
Yeah, well, if you catch pneumonia while you have something that's already, tearing you apart like cancer, then that's it's
a death sentence, unfortunately.
It's like that's how Stephen Hawking lost his voice. It wasn't because of the Lou Gehrig's disease. It was because he caught pneumonia and never fully recovered from the damage that it did to him.
You don't like wrestling or watch wrestling, but Bray Wyatt, I don't know if you've heard of him. He passed away due to COVID, but not due to COVID. COVID re-agitated a heart condition that he had.
Oh, yeah.
And he passed away in his sleep. But that sucks. Obviously, Val Kilmer, mostly known for being Batman, The Doors, Tombstone, and more. Wasn't he in Top Gun? Yeah, Top Gun.
Yeah, he was Iceman.
So you know how there are games that you have never played that I whip you with, or whip you
you've
for?
Never seen Top Gun, have you?
I've never seen Top Gun.
I've never seen Top Gun in its entirety either.
Oh wow! I think I've seen I've heard the song. That's my extent. Of Top Gun.
I've seen bits and pieces. It's one of those movies that I've seen like in pieces in a lot of different places. I've probably seen most of the movie.
Is it one of those movies that's like on TBS all the time?
Probably.
Yeah. There's a lot of movies that I've seen that way where like I'll just be flipping channels and be like, what is this? Well, it's just a cool action sequence, and then I'll watch the rest of the movie, and then I'll be like, what was that movie? I don't even know what that was.
Dude, the number of times that I caught like fragments of Aliens on AMC before finally like sitting down and watching the movie from start to finish.
Yeah.
By which point I had already seen the movie, just I'd come in at different points at when it was on.
Yeah. The Negotiator, do you remember that one?
I haven't seen it, but I do remember it.
Highly recommend that one. That's with Samuel L. Jackson. It's a great movie. And Kevin Spacey, if you can stomach watching Kevin Spacey now, which I can. I don't. Here's my thing with the Kevin Spacey thing is we have a justice system for a reason. He was exonerated. I have to just go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can hate him and think that he's still lying and think that he got away with it, or I can just accept that we have a justice system and he either got away with it or he is actually innocent. But our society has stated that he's innocent, so
well, that
I don't know.
You're letting the justice system do a lot of heavy lifting there in a system that is known to be imperfect.
Absolutely, I completely see that side of things. He's definitely sketchy, but I mean, he's been in so many amazing movies. It's so hard to ignore that. I mean, K-Pax. Oh my God, what a movie!
I tapped out of K-Pax.
What? Oh, K-Pax was so good.
It looked really good, and then I watched it, and I was like,
it's slow. It's definitely not an action movie. All right, that's fine. But no, Negotiator is an action movie. You should watch that one. You would like that
part of the problem with K-Pax is that it's like there's so many opportunities where he could have actually proven that he was an alien if he really was.
It wasn't really meant to be that way, though. It was meant to be
but it's like so the part where he's like, goodbye, hello, like he traveled at the speed of light so that he like disappeared and reappeared faster than anyone could see. Why wouldn't you just do that to a different spot in the room?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
like that was the point at which the movie broke down for me. I was like, come on.
That's fair.
I'm the kind of person who one dumb thing will ruin a movie for.
Yeah, I can tell.
Ask me about fucking well, don't ask me about it because it'll be a long rant. We got a long show. But What was that fucking movie with the aliens and their time language? I forget the name of the movie.
Oh, The Knowing?
No, not that one. He's more recent than Knowing.
Oh, I love that movie. Shit. Oh God. Arrival,
yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Ending. I loved it right up until the very ending. I was like,
yeah,
why
the ending's
fuck?
a little.
Why would you not
Yeah.
Why would you not use your future time knowledge to discover the cure for cancer for your future daughter?
Yeah,
and don't tell me, oh no, I can't mess with history. It wouldn't be right. That's what the fucking aliens were doing in the first place. They were messing with history.
Yeah.
Just do the same thing that the aliens were doing, you dumb bitch.
Well, maybe she did, because doesn't it end with her just leaving the alien station and she...
Yeah, but the flash forward implies that she let her future daughter die.
Well, not necessarily. The flash forward could be the previous future. And she was able to change it.
But maybe, like, it certainly implies that it is. I just...
Yeah. I mean... It's definitely one of those movies that leaves the ending ambiguous, kind of like Inception, and some people hate that and some people like that. I'm kind of in the middle. It depends on the movie, but I'm a big fan of Inception and I'm a big fan of Arrival. So
I just fucking hate it when movies are like,
I know.
But it needs to be melodramatic. No, it doesn't. You have the solution to your problem, you motherfucker.
I choose to believe that she changed history by doing this stuff. But they definitely didn't make it clear enough. I agree. Anyway.
I also have the same problem with Donnie Darko, but at least Donnie Darko dies in the end of that. So I'm like, well, you fucking got what you deserved, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, I hate
Use
that
your
movie
time
so
knowledge to fix the problems.
Yeah. Can't say I'm a fan of that movie. How do you feel about Batman Forever with Val?
Yeah, it was okay.
I think it was the best one of the cheesy movies. Because there was Batman Forever, Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin was not good.
No, Batman and Robin was terrible. Freeze.
God. Oh, God.
Chill.
God. Allow me to break the ice.
Who killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
The Iceman cometh.
Oh,
That
Winter
fucking guy
is here.
got paid some obscene amount of money to do nothing but cold jokes.
Yeah.
And you can tell he fucking loves it. He's like, man, I don't have to do shit in this movie. I just have to say stupid puns in my Austrian accent.
It's so funny.
It's
actually so bad that it's actually kind of funny at times.
Kind of. I mean, there's the part where they like tap their shoes together and the skates come out and like, fuck off.
Yeah, that's why I like Batman Forever. It's a little less. There's a little less that, you know.
Batman Forever has that really good thing at the end where it's like, aren't you gonna flip your coin? And he's like, oh yeah. And then he flips the coin, and then Batman tosses out all the other coins. And he's like, no, I gotta get my coin. And he like
tumbles to his death,
falls to his own death. And it's like, Batman, you motherfucker! What do you mean you don't kill people? I didn't kill him.
I didn't kill him.
Himself.
He killed himself. Exactly.
He was the one who was coin crazy. I'm like, ooh, Batman, you are cold, son of a bitch.
Jim Carrey is the Riddler, man.
Cool. That was bizarre. Like, expected.
That was awesome. I loved it
because it was the Jim Carrey era. But like,
so good. It's so good in a way that's cheesy, you know. Yeah. But it's a good cheesy.
Yeah, you gotta ride that. There's that line you gotta ride, and it's like you can't go beyond.
Yeah, Batman and Robin went beyond the line. Yeah, Batman Forever rode it.
The line is the '60s Adam West Batman.
Cool. Yeah, but I mean, at least that's you can't get sillier than that. Yeah, no, you can't.
You can't. That's the limit of silliness for Batman. You cannot go further than that, or it's just, what are you even doing?
Bam.
Yeah,
love that stuff. Anyway, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. Okay, let's move on to Monster Hunter Wilds. It's selling well, as you might expect.
Oh, really?
In fact, it has already breezed past the 10 million mark.
I'm unsurprised by that.
Setting a new record for developer and publisher Capcom. That's a first month sales record for Capcom. No game in the company's history has sold more after a month on sale.
Really?
Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah. I thought that World would have done it, but you're telling me that Wilds has done it even sooner.
Wilds has done better.
Yeah. Well, way to go.
It was already the fastest selling game in Capcom history because out of that 10 million, 8 million of it was sold in the first 3 days.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So obviously that game's whooping ass. There are some complaints about it though. Yeah. So it is apparently very easy in comparison to previous Monster Hunter games.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
There's no real like end game beasties that are just super hard. So they're hoping that DLC fixes that. But
yeah, that's a weird way to hope for things.
I mean, I think the previous
you would
Monster
hope
Hunter
that it would be fixed you would hope that it wouldn't need to be fixed because it would be right in the first place.
Yeah, I think World got a bunch of DLC and added monsters and free
World
updates
got
and stuff.
Like a second story mode as DLC.
Yeah, so I'm sure Wilds will continue to get crazy content. But congratulations to Capcom, another huge success. I just wish it was a little more accessible because I found out that
it sounds like at least on the difficulty scale it is.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier, but from an accessibility standpoint, and understanding standpoint,
the menus are just insane.
Yeah,
there's so many subsystems. It's just
it wouldn't even be a problem if there was that the game's complicated if the game had a good onboarding experience, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, the Monster Hunter games are built with the assumption that you've played Monster Hunter games before, and that
you can absorb information from 1,000
which you are trained to do by playing previous Monster Hunter games.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Because it's like, each game they introduce like one new system. There's been like 20 of these games now.
Yeah.
So now you're really getting. It would be like trying to get into Pokemon now for the first time. Like, how could you ever hope to catch them all? It's a pipe dream.
I thought you meant like Pokemon Now was a game.
No,
like Pokemon Go. I'm like, what's Pokemon Now? I've never heard of this. All right. Yeah, so congrats to them. Another game that's doing pretty well, unexpectedly, is Inzoi. So this is the Sims competitor from Korea. Was developed by Krafton, the Callisto Protocol guys.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not the same developer, but same company that published that game.
Mm-hmm.
But it has sold over 1 million copies in a week.
Oh,
so it's doing really well, and it's only in early access.
Oh,
so it's got a long way to go, but it's doing very well. It had a peak, or it was very popular, I should say, on Twitch. It had a peak concurrent viewers on Twitch of 175,000 people.
Wow!
Watching people play that game, which made it the third most watched game in that week. Yeah. So it's not reviewing particularly well. It's around a 6, from what I've seen. I didn't see it on Metacritic, but I'm assuming that's because it's in early access and maybe they don't publish reviews until the game's fully out. Yeah, it's around a 6. It's got all the sort of expected issues that early access games have of, not quite enough content, bugs, glitches, weird oddities. Apparently, so it's like The Sims, but it's realistic, in its visual style. It's actually gorgeous in its visual style. But apparently there was a glitch in it that allowed you to run children over in your car. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that had to get fixed pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah.
They had to make like a public statement and all this stuff. So
yeah, I bet they did.
Yeah, they were like,
was there an animation associated with the kids getting run over, or was it just like?
I'm assuming so, because it like I said, they had to apologize for.
But why would they make an animation of a child getting run over?
I mean, I don't know whether it could have just been like a ragdoll effect that was applied to like all characters, and so they applied it to the children for other reasons, and they didn't think about what if a car hits them. So now there's like videos of, like, of course, assholes online just like driving around town going, "Hey, look, a kid!"
Hey, guess what I'm looking up on YouTube right now?
Yeah, I haven't looked up anything, but yeah, they issued a press release and a bunch of other stuff. There's been some crazy creations on that game, though. The character creator is like legit.
Abducting children in Inzoi? Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Oh no!
Yeah.
That was visceral.
Yeah, apparently it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's okay. So it definitely looks like it's just a generic ragdoll effect.
Yeah.
Because holy shit! I clicked on a YouTube short and it happens within the first half second. There was no like run up or anything.
No preparation. Just boosh.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
What is this abducting children thing, though?
I don't know. That one I haven't heard of. That one might just be some random dude being weird.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I saw what I needed to see. Holy shit. Yeah. You need to apologize for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Holy shit. You gotta look it up. Maybe not necessarily during the show, but
No, I will absolutely look that up. All right, and we're almost through this already. StarCraft news. This one's weird.
I haven't seen that wallpaper in fucking forever.
You are welcome, sir.
Holy shit. God, I think I last saw that in like 2004.
I think it was a loading screen in the game, if I remember.
Yeah, I believe it was. But like I think it was also like a wallpaper that they had on the game disc. Remember how they used to do that?
Yeah, and on the website they offered.
And they would offer wallpapers and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's like how if you put the Phantasy Star Online disc from your Dreamcast in your PC, it had a bunch of wallpapers.
Yep. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
So Blizzard is reportedly receiving a number of pitches for new StarCraft video games from Korean studios. In an article brought to the internet's attention by a Twitter account called Korea Xbox News and Asia Today, listed 4 Korean companies who are reportedly competing with each other right now to develop new games based on the StarCraft IP and secure publishing rights.
Jesus.
What?
I have to be careful how I say this.
Well, wait till you hear the companies that are competing.
No. Let me get this out first.
Okay.
Guys, you don't need to lead into the stereotype that hard.
Oh, the fact that yeah, right. Yeah.
I did this with my brother-in-law as well, because my brother-in-law is Korean. And one time I was visiting, and he's playing StarCraft 2, and I was like, dude, and he's like, yeah, I know, but we really do like it over there. He knew immediately what I was talking about.
I mean, they do. It's true. It's huge over there.
It's massive. They were doing StarCraft esports long before anybody was like, "What's esports over here?"
Yeah, what's esports? Yeah. So are you saying that that Blizzard shouldn't be doing this, or just the reporter reporting on this?
I'm saying the Korean companies, you guys, it's okay.
Okay. Well, no, of course. Are you kidding me? Of course they would want to get into this.
I know.
They would make so much money.
I know.
I know. Absolutely. They're smart. They know.
It's money printing. It is a license to print money.
Absolutely.
What's the currency in Korea? Is it the won or something?
Oh,
whatever
I have no idea.
It's a license to print whatever that is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the companies that are currently competing with each other.
Tell me that one of them is called Zerg Tech.
No. These are all companies we've heard of before. NCSoft.
Oh, of course.
Nexon.
Yeah.
Netmarble. Mm-hmm. And Krafton.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the usual suspects. All the big Korean publishers.
Yeah. Apparently, some of these companies have traveled to Blizzard's headquarters in California to make their pitches. Then it goes on to talk about like what each of these companies make, which we pretty much know at this point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it says video game companies pitch video game companies pitch other video game companies all the time when it comes to securing publishing rights and development contracts. Man, I can't speak. And it may be the case that nothing mentioned here goes anywhere, but StarCraft fans will certainly take note of Blizzard's reported interest in doing something to expand the much-loved sci-fi universe, given how long it's been since the last game of the franchise came out. And of course, Activision Blizzard declined to comment on the rumor. Right. It's worth remembering that in September it emerged that Blizzard was making a third attempt at developing a StarCraft shooter, with former Far Cry executive Dan Hay, who joined Blizzard in 2022, leading the charge. Did we report on that? I feel like we did.
Well, didn't a bunch of stuff come out? And then there was also
we did talk about this because this was the
Jason Schreier's book, and
that's exactly where it came from. Yeah, so we'll see if anything comes from that. But I mean, if they're just pitching ideas right now, we're like 10 years away from knowing anything. About any of this. And then finally, before we get into the Nintendo stuff, Game Pass in April is getting a bunch of updates, including Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition. So that's the Borderlands 3 with all the DLC, which is a huge amount of content. I was not a huge fan of Borderlands 3. It did not have the humor, or the humor that I like, anyway.
Yeah, you knew I was going to pipe up about that.
Yeah. It is the better game, because the features and the gameplay changes that it makes are much better than Borderlands 2, but the humor and the DLC. I mean, I didn't play the DLC in Borderlands 3, so I can't comment on that. But the DLC in Borderlands 2 was just phenomenal. Like it's some of the best DLC of all time. Like it's so.
For the
good.
record, I was correct. The won is the currency of South Korea.
The won, gotcha. So Borderlands 3 is already out on Game Pass right now. So is All You Need Is Help, which is a multiplayer co-op puzzle game. Also out now is Still Wakes the Deep, which is a first-person horror game from the Chinese Room. I played a little bit of it. I was really annoyed. So I played the first like half an hour to an hour of it, and it was really, really cool and really, really atmospheric. It's a game where you're trapped on an oil rig, in the North Sea, and it's got some is it Lovecraft? Is that what they call like the Cthulhu stuff?
Yeah, because
Lovecraft.
of H.P.
Yeah.
Lovecraft.
Yeah. It's got that sort of vibe to it. There's like something attacks the oil rig from beneath, and you're basically just trying to survive. And then you get to a point in it where it's like, oh, it's all peaking, right? It's like, I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? It's so cool and so creepy, and then the visuals are so good, the atmosphere is so good, and I'm tense. And then it turns into like Outlast, where there's something following you around. And then it's just one of those games where you have to hide all the time. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
that's what ruined Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth for me. Is that game turned into Outlast?
Yeah,
like
I'm so
Outlast,
tired of that.
Very quickly, and I was like, no, I don't want to run from people. I certainly don't want to have a fucking gun. This is a H.P. Lovecraft inspired game. I should be like unable to comprehend the horrors of time and space. I shouldn't be able to shoot a gun at them.
Oh, in Outlast you can't shoot.
Yeah, I know, but in Dark Corners of the Earth you can, but also like you get it just also that was like the least of that game's problems.
Yeah. I'm just not a fan of these games where you can't fight back.
Yeah,
at any point you're just
there were a number of massive technical problems with that game, so it's actually a good thing that I lost interest in it when I did, because there's apparently a very high probability of you wiping your save file.
Oh, gotta love those ones.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, if you're a fan of that type of game of Outlast, you'll probably enjoy Still Wakes the Deep. So I would recommend it to anyone who's a fan of that stuff. Wargroove 2 is also out on Game Pass. That's the Advance Wars game. Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls Ultimate Evil Edition. So the full Diablo 3 experience is going to be available on Game Pass, all versions of Game Pass on April 8th.
Like there's anybody who hasn't played Diablo 3 yet.
Yeah, if you haven't played Diablo 3 yet, were you
not alive 10 years ago? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, if somehow you missed it and you have Game Pass, you're going to be lost in that game for ages.
There's so fucking much to do in that game.
Do I have something on my head?
I don't see anything on your head.
I think it's just the angle. See, like it looks like my hair is sticking out. See what I mean?
It's kind of hard for me to discern on the tiny little window.
I know that's what I'm seeing too. It's annoying. South of Midnight comes out on April 8th for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and PC. So I will be able to play that. Commando's Origins on April 9th for Ultimate and PC, so I'll be able to play that. Blueprints April 10th, Game Pass Ultimate and PC, so I'll be able to play that. Hunt Showdown 1896 comes out on April 15th. I thought this was out already. Oh, it's probably on PlayStation Plus. That's probably where I know it from. That is the PvPvE shooter.
Yep.
EA Sports College 25 is available now on Game Pass, and for some reason here's
the problem. What fucking sport is that?
College football. It's like NCAA, isn't it?
NCAA is basketball, isn't it? Or is it also? No.
NCAA is college professional sports, basically.
Oh, so like all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I might sound like an absolute moron to people listening right now, but I'm 90% sure that is the case. NCAA is like amateur professional. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that. It's not
professional.
You know what I mean, though? It's like it's.
No, I know what you mean. It's just the way you phrase that.
It's college level everything.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain.
Call a game College 2K5 or whatever the fuck they called it.
College Football 25. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be football or basketball or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, EA Sports College Football. They're calling it. EA Sports College Football 25. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't call it NCAA football. It's weird. Anyway. They also added, for some reason, Asphalt Legends Unite to Game Pass, which is already a free-to-play game. So it must give you some like free shit,
I guess,
in there. And then there's a whole bunch of DLC and stuff they're giving
Isn't
away for free.
Asphalt that mobile racing game?
Yeah, it's on console now. It's actually really good.
Oh,
I've
okay.
played it. Yeah, it feels like Burnout.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's actually very good. The only thing that sucks about it is that they are short races because it's a mobile game.
Yeah.
So they're like 1 minute to 2 minute races. So they're
Yeah.
not, that's the only thing that sucks about it. It's like, man, take this game and make it into a full console game. You know what I'm saying? That'd be great. Also, they're giving out a crapload of DLC for free on Game Pass, including Dead by Daylight, Sea of Thieves, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and Age of Empires 4.
Yeah, but here's the question. If you stop subscribing to Game Pass, do you lose access to that DLC?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a trap, because if your save files now are connected with the DLC, they won't load without it.
Maybe not for these particular games, because like Dead by Daylight is just an extra character, I think. Sea of Thieves is just like, I think you get like a price drop on things to purchase if you have the, you know what I mean? Like it's a bunch of like,
Whatever.
Yeah, it's a bunch of whatever stuff. It's nothing crazy. Not from what I can tell anyway. And then finally, leaving Xbox Game Pass on April 15th is Botany Manor. Oh man, I'm in the middle of playing that. God damn it. That's frustrating. Coral Island, Harold Halibut, Homestead Arcana, Kona, which is a cool first-person mystery game. It's a Canadian-made game. Would recommend that one. Orcs Must Die 3, and Turbo Golf Racing. Well, shit. So long, Botany Manor. Damn, that makes me sad. All right, so that is that, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna get into topic of the week, and give me a quick minute to prep here because we're gonna do something a little different to make sure that we get organized for this, because there was a lot. There was a lot shared.
That
direct
was an
huge.
hour long, and it was wall to wall content. There was
absolutely
like no fluff.
Yeah, it was so insanely packed. So what we're gonna do, if I can, I'm surprised I didn't have this up. This is the one thing I forgot. Here we go. This is it. 2 days ago. Yeah.
Are we going to get shit for having this in the video?
No, I don't think so. I've seen it. I mean, no, definitely not, because I did a live stream and they didn't take that down. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right, you did.
Yep, I did a live reacts to this. So I am going to.
Did you have anything of substance to say beyond? Ooh, that'll be cool.
I did. I said
really?
I said a lot. Well, it was mostly me predicting stuff. But I'll get into some things that I definitely said because they will matter in this particular scenario. Okay, so there we go. So what I'm going to do is we're not going to watch the whole thing. Obviously, it's too long. But we're going to skim through it to make sure that we cover everything. So it started off with the sort of full look at Mario Kart 9. I'm going to turn down this. Where is it here?
Yeah, unfortunately, IGN does not appear to have
there's no
just like
720/30.
Doesn't have like an itemized list of stuff in order of any kind. I don't suppose they've broken it up into chapters to make it easy for you. No, of course not.
No. It's not even loading for some stupid reason.
Are we going to have the crappy video experience that we had before?
Well, I wasn't even going to play it. I was just going to skim through it just to use it as like a, you know what I'm saying? But it's not even loading.
Yeah.
What? This might be a problem. I don't understand why it's not. Oh, I know why. It's because it's the stupid American version. The American version got all fucked up during the presentation. Let me go to the. There we go. There we go. That's better. Okay, so Let me switch this. Get it? Let me switch this. Okay, let's see if this works. There we go. Okay. So there we go. Mario Kart World. That's where we kind of kick things off.
Yeah, looks fine. Looks kind of cool.
It looks like an amalgamation. So this is what I was comparing it to, I think, on the stream. This is the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate for Mario Kart. Yeah. They're like, what can we do at this point to make Mario Kart bigger? Well, let's make it just one giant world, and all the tracks are interconnected, and you can free roam, and we'll have way more characters and customization out the wazoo. Different 16 different costumes of all the characters, 16 different carts that you can use. We can have wall jumping in it. They had rail grinding.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's like everything you could possibly think of that's been in a Mario Kart and more. So it is huge. They've also done a mode called Knockout Tour, where it looks like it's like 6 tracks all connected together, and every time you transition to a new track, a certain amount of racers are eliminated at the back.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, you're like down to like 3 people. It's kind of like a battle royale almost,
It's a survival mode.
It's Eliminator. Eliminator was in Burnout, I remember.
This game is basically just Burnout Legends, but for Mario Kart.
Yeah, or like Forza Horizon. I don't have any first of all, the game looks very pretty. There doesn't appear to be any classic courses. So this it's like they were like, Mario Kart 8, we did that. We're not going back anymore. We're going forward. So it's like all new stuff. There's transforming cars as well. Like you can see carts changing into hovercraft and boats and planes at a couple of points. Kind of like Sonic and All Stars Transformed, one of my favorite race kart.
And there's there's a bunch of that in Mario Kart 8 as well.
Yeah,
but it's usually just a means to get across, because like you don't have planes, you have gliders.
You had gliders. Yeah. It remains to be seen. So they did a Treehouse live. And
I haven't watched that.
Me either. It was like a half an hour demo, so I'm sure a lot of these questions that I have for this game are probably answered already. I just haven't watched that yet. I kind of just don't really want to know more, honestly. It's like, this was enough. Kart. Yeah, this looks great. I don't have any qualms about it. My only concern about it is the free roam mode. Is the free roam mode literally just driving around the map, taking pictures and hanging out with your friends, or are they gonna like hide secrets and collectibles and all kinds of stuff in there?
They might.
If I hope that's the case, because if it's not, I'm never gonna use free roam mode.
I like free roam. I like just fucking around and ramping off stuff, and that's fun.
Sure. Yeah. I need some substance in that mode for me to do it. I probably would play it for like 10 minutes and then be like, all right, I want to go race. So I'm hoping that there's a reason to free roam instead of just something to do. You know what I'm saying? They also never talked about a battle mode at any point.
Yeah, I noticed that. I wonder.
I don't remember if 8 had a battle mode. Did it? I think it did.
I think it did, but I didn't play a tremendous amount of 8 that wasn't just racing.
Yeah. Right. Weird, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it looks great. Surprised they didn't call it Mario Kart 9 though. I don't know what decision.
They do that sometimes. They had Mario Kart DS, right?
Which was 7. They called it 7.
They had Mario Kart Double Dash. Sometimes they have names, sometimes they have numbers. They do whatever they want.
Yeah, don't. They're Xboxing it up. Stop doing that. Yeah. Just make a decision and go with it.
It was screwed from the moment they called the second one Mario Kart 64.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm noticing that there's no lag this time.
Yeah.
You noticing that? That's weird. Let's see
it
if we
looks
missed
fairly
anything.
stable to me.
Yeah, look at that. Why did we have not stable visual last time?
I don't know. It'd be a real shame if we did an entire video based on showing people video footage and it all fucked up.
It's because I put it in 480p. It's still in 480p. It doesn't look like it's in 480p though.
Oh, did you run all those intros in?
They were probably defaulted to whatever the top is, or auto.
No.
So now we know that there's a solution for that problem, and that's to keep the res
I wonder if one of us will ever one day have the gumption to just say, "Fuck it, we're gonna fix that," and edit in the videos over top. The answer is no.
No, probably not.
It could be done, but we're not gonna do it.
We're not gonna do it. But we know for future. We know now for future.
Yeah,
just lower the res, and then we won't have an issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this looks great. I'm so happy that this screen share is working properly now. Like, it looks so cool. Yeah. I mean, everything about Mario Kart World looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
So there is a direct coming out on the 17th that will go even further into Mario Kart World. Which
God, are there going to be any more directs in 2025, or is this like all of them for the entire year?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to watch that one. I know enough. I don't need to know anything more. Next up was they revealed the C button and what the C button does.
It is chat.
Yeah, it stands for chat, even though the product they're calling game chat. So it should be a G button.
Well, I'm just fucking grateful that Nintendo has finally said, yeah, we'll do voice chat, like 25 years after it was, kind of standardized.
This whole segment just reeks of Nintendo because it's just like, oh, look, you're entering the 21st century.
Like, wow, look at this. Look at all the creative things you could do that you could do on Xbox Live years and years ago.
They are adding some stuff that isn't available, as far as I'm aware of, on Xbox or PlayStation. So this stuff at the bottom here where you have all of the voices. So like
the screen share stuff and the sort of
screen
Discord
share
style.
Stuff. Yeah. They don't have that.
Yeah, but it wasn't worth waiting this long just to get fucking voice chat for that.
No, it wasn't.
Like, it's cool, but
I mean, it's fully. So here's the thing: this is Nintendo's version of voice chat. So this, just to be clear with everybody out there who thinks that this is just the standard that Nintendo's going to use, this is not jump into Helldivers 2 and just talk to the people that you're randomly connecting with online. That's not what this is. You have to be friends with the people that you want to chat with on voice chat.
Honestly, I'm kind of fine with that though, because
so it's good in one sense because it's good for kids. They're not going to be. It's
good for kids, and
dicks.
Also you don't get people shouting obscenities about how much they fucked your mother 2 seconds into joining your very first match of Halo 2.
We just got age restricted.
Hey, that's the real experience I had. The
it's true.
Very first words I heard on Xbox Live was something about somebody's mother.
Yep. No, me too. Racist comments, all kinds of stuff.
It was just like, yep, I don't know why I expected the first thing I heard to be anything else. That's just par for the course.
Yep. That being said, though, if they have any multiplayer games where voice chat is kind of a necessity, it doesn't really work on Switch, because it's like, if you can't talk to the people, like some games just straight up require you to be able to voice chat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which we will get into later. You don't
have like a keyboard to type anything in. Like you don't even have the alternative here.
There's no alternative. You have to be friends with the people you want to play with. Although it remains to be seen if they're even going to allow games with online randos to begin with. The only game that I can recall that had online random gameplay on the Switch was Mario Kart.
No, lots of games have it. You can play with randos in Splatoon. You can play with randos in Diablo 3.
But you couldn't communicate with anybody. That's weird. That's so weird. I guess emotes.
Splatoon 2 did have the fucking... There was a separate like Splatoon voice chat app, but it was like a whole thing you had to go through.
Yeah.
I will say I do appreciate them being honest about what the screen share looks like here.
I was gonna comment on that.
Yeah,
The 10 frames per second.
yeah, it's not super smooth, but I actually really appreciate them being upfront and honest
Yeah.
about that and not being like screen image simulated. Actual performance may vary. It's just like, no, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, I think
Like,
that's what it said on the bottom there, right?
thank
They
you,
do.
Nintendo, for showing us a realistic picture of what to expect.
Yeah,
It
it
is
would have
something
been.
that so rarely happens in this business.
Yeah, it would have been so disappointing if they mocked it up
Yeah,
at the same frame rate as what you're playing, and then you get it, and you're like, "What is this shit?"
yeah.
I don't mind the 10 frames per second. It's just
No,
you're
it's
not
fine.
staring at it.
No,
it's a
just
thing to reference quickly.
right, exactly.
So you're like, oh,
You're
what
not
are they
going to
doing?
be
Okay,
you're not
cool.
going to be focused on it. You're going to flick your eye down to see
Yeah.
what they're doing. You're going to process like 2 frames of it before you
Yep.
go back to what you were doing, which is what you'd be doing even if it was, a really smooth high frame rate. So
Yep.
it honestly doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's also pretty cool. We kind of missed it in the video here, but you can watch other people play other games. It's not just you in the same game. You can screen share while you're playing other stuff.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. Cool. It's a cool hangout option.
I also like this video camera thing. Because and you might think, well, why would you want to pay for a separate accessory? Well, the reason is I don't want to pay for a separate accessory, but I also don't want it taking up space on the bezel. And I certainly don't want like a hole punch in the fucking Switch screen for a camera. So I'm honestly fine with it being a separate thing. And it also gets them out of having to be like, oh, how do we come up with some kind of safety thing for kids? It's like, parents, just don't buy the camera for your kids. Boom.
Yeah.
Easy. Did you also see that Hori has already announced a camera? And number 1, it is a Piranha Plant themed camera.
Cool.
Number 2, it can be unplugged from its base, and you can plug it in directly into the Switch, so you can have the camera going in handheld mode. And cool. Number 3, this is the coolest feature. It has a privacy shutter, which is activated by closing the Piranha Plant's mouth. That is the privacy shutter. That's awesome. That's awesome. So good. That's the best accessory I think I've ever seen. It's so perfect.
And they did confirm that you can use any USB camera.
Yep.
You do not have to you do not have to buy this.
Well, it'd have to be USB-C. But
yeah.
I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah. And you can get converters for them all the time.
Yeah, you could use it. I was going to say you might be able to use a converter. I have an A to C converter. I use it for my phone.
Yep. No, there's tons of options that you have. So that's cool that they don't just make it a proprietary junk.
Yeah.
And you can see in some of these features that they're showing off that your face can be implemented into the game itself, depending on the game. And
they can do like a background removal thing, which is that's cool. I always like when they have that. It's not really a new feature. I remember my MacBook having it like 15 years ago. But it's just all it basically does is it takes a picture of your surroundings and then it clips everything out unless it's moving. So, and it probably also has like a facial recognition thing to say, okay, that's a person, don't get rid of them. But it means your background disappears and you remain in the picture. It's very common tech.
Yeah, it's cool. So that is the mysterious C button. Now they do go on to say in a second here. That there it is. That Switch Online is required to use Game Chat, which makes sense, and it's not exactly expensive. It's like $25 a year.
Yeah, it's incredibly cheap. And like honestly, what would you do without it? Like how would you even make use of it?
Yeah, and also Game Chat is going to be free for until March 31st, 2026.
Yeah, so. I remember watching this and thinking, well, we know the latest possible date that the Switch could come out.
Yeah. It's like, well,
I noticed that they had nodded, like, because they keep saying same day as the system launches. I'm like, okay, they either don't have a date or they're going to wait till the end of the video, which is what they did. But it's like right here, it's like, okay, well, it can't possibly come out after that.
Nope. So the next thing they announced was the return of Game Share. So this is there's still a lot of questions surrounding how this works. I'm sure they've gone into it in other places, but I haven't done enough research to know for sure. But essentially, the way it works at a glance is that any compatible game that you purchase on Switch 2 can be shared with another individual Switch 2 or original Switch or
if
Switch
it's
Lite.
compatible.
If it's compatible. So that prevents you from having to buy multiple versions of like a multiplayer game, for instance. So like Mario Kart might be game share. I'm not sure.
And this is a thing that they did to some degree on the DS.
Yep. So this is something that's returning.
There are limitations. At least there were on the DS. Because you can only fit like whatever is available in memory. So you can't put the whole game there. No. Like in the game share version of Mario Kart back on the DS, you could only race as Shy Guy if you were the one receiving the shared copy. But it was like, it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, you're still playing it. It's almost like a demo, you know.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's basically a demo that you can play as long as you're with a person who has the copy of the game. And I think that's really cool. I wish that awesome. I wish that they kept doing that. I'm glad they're bringing it back because that's a really good feature.
Yeah,
and
so
now it actually makes a lot of sense with what they announced last time, which was
the carts.
The virtual cartridges, because now you can either share what is going to be a version of the game that is only available when you're within range and actively playing, or you can share the full version and take it out of your library temporarily.
Yep. Now, they've only announced one game at launch to have this game share feature, which is the one in the center here. Yes, and it is going
to be a game-to-game thing. It's not going to be for every game.
No, yeah, Clubhouse 51 games.
It's up to the creator of the game to decide if it's going to work with it or not.
They have confirmed that these other 4 games listed here will be added to that list. They just haven't given a specific date. Yeah. Why they haven't done that, I'm not entirely certain. But at least one of these games is not multiplayer. So it doesn't seem like it's specifically for multiplayer games only. But kind of a cool idea. We'll see how much it expands and is actually utilized. Nintendo has in the past,
announced
been like,
stuff and been like, hey, and then like just kind of dropped it after a year.
Yeah. So we'll see.
That's actually not unusual for them at all.
Yeah, we'll see how it actually ends up. All right. So the next part goes into some of the more specifics about the system itself. I really liked this part of the Direct. So we'll go through each of these here as the video plays and kind of make our comments. All right, so yeah, bigger screen. So this screen is a lot bigger than the original Switch.
Yep.
It'll come up with the comparisons here. So yeah, 6.2 inches is the old one, 7.9 for the new one. Much beefier.
It does still have
the bevel.
Some bezels on it, but I'm sure there will be an OLED version that does away with that.
Is it bezel or bevel? I've always called it the bevel.
A bevel is a rounded edge. So if you take a table with a 90-degree edge,
so the Switch is beveled then.
Yeah, the controllers are beveled, but the space between the screen and the edge of the device
bezel.
Is the bezel. Yes.
Look at that. We all learned something today. Well, at least I did.
Yeah.
So I've seen some comparisons, direct comparisons on IGN where they put the original Switch in the bottom left-hand corner to like match it up. And you could actually see the full right Joy-Con in its entirety sticking out. That's how much bigger the Switch 2 is. It's beast.
Yeah, Mr. Who's the Boss also put up a video where he got some hands-on time with it, and he demonstrated it because he had his Switch while also being in the wherever it was that had the demo unit. And he showed it like, pushing them side by side, be like, here's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's much, much bigger. But the same thickness. Exactly the same thickness. So
well, based on the unit, those shoulder buttons stick out a bit. But but I like that. That's fine.
Yep. The screen on the Switch 2 itself is getting an upgrade. So the original Switch was 720p. The new screen is 1080p.
Yep.
Which is pretty dope. Yeah. Well, it's actually more surprising than you would think because most of the PC handhelds are still 720p. The only one that has 1080p is the ROG Ally X, the new one that recently came out. So that's cool. And then this one was this one was crazy.
Yeah,
up to
120
120.
FPS. That
Holy.
actually surprised me a lot.
Yeah.
On the system itself, not just outputting to a TV, on the system itself.
The system itself. That's crazy.
That was the one that really impressed me.
So when I was doing the stream, this is the point, and we're going to talk about this later, so I'm not going to get too in the weeds here. But this is at the point where I started to say to our the audience that was watching, I'm getting a little bit nervous about the price of this thing. This was the first thing where I was like, that's not a great sign for the price.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that later, but this was the first sign where I verbally said like, oh, maybe this thing's more powerful than we thought it was.
Well, yeah. And
it
that
definitely is. But we'll get into that.
There was another moment like that for me. Well, so this is another.
This is the other one.
The HDR support's like an LCD with HDR. Well done. You packed that all in there at 120 FPS.
Yeah.
Well done, but wow.
Yeah. The second I saw HDR, I was like,
cheap.
I was like,
not cheap.
It's not an OLED. So I have seen comparisons between the Switch LCD and the Switch 2 LCD, and the Switch 2 LCD is pretty comparable to the OLED. It's very upgraded LCD.
Yes,
it
I've
looks
seen
great.
that as well.
So that part of it, I'm like, maybe I don't need to wait for the OLED version because this looks kind of fucking good, especially with that HDR support. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that was super surprising.
I'm assuming it's some kind of mini LED backlighting situation where they have like hundreds of LEDs backlighting it instead of just like a few around the edge and a.
Well, it's also 1080p, so there's got to be
diffuser.
some sort of advanced stuff going on there behind the hood.
Mm-hmm.
This one we already knew.
Yeah, the snap-on.
The magnet system. So this is just sort of showing how it exactly works. I did get some feedback from hands-on folks from IGN that tested this, because there was a lot of worry about like, can those magnets really hang on there?
Yeah.
And how easy is it going to be to like break the pin connector that's in there? And they're like, no, it's not coming off unless you press that button. So
yeah, that's exactly what I heard. There was apparently very robust.
Yeah, so that doesn't seem to be a huge issue.
This is a nice one because those buttons are fucking impossible to hit if you have adult-sized hands.
Oh, it's brutal.
I don't even have very big hands for an adult, and they are impossible.
Even if you had the, what do they call it?
The bumper things that you put on. Yeah.
Yeah, it still didn't make them big enough.
Yeah, because those are like kind of mushy. And these are... They're like wiggly, mushy, kind of bad, and these are like they are flush with the plastic. So you got to get. It's almost like when you would have to reset something and you have to get a pen and stick it in the little reset button hole.
Yep.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to do that for these. So these are now bigger and more raised up, which is nice.
I don't know. Oh, that's the connector.
Yeah, that's the.
I was like, what is that? And this, I think, is the sync button.
Yeah, that'll
the same
be the
thing as this.
button.
And this is the mouse support. I'm not sure what this is.
That is for the release. When you
that's the release kicker.
Release, it pushes it out.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
It like focuses all that force on the one point, and that's how it comes out.
Yeah. So those bigger SL and SR buttons is greatly appreciated.
Which is nice for me because I play it that way a lot with my niece.
Yep, absolutely. So they don't go into detail here about the sticks but they are significantly larger than the Switch 1.
You can tell just by looking at it, they're bigger.
Yeah, they've confirmed that they also have been enhanced. So the old sticks, they were kind of, I don't know, toyish. They were kind of clicky.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of them. The hands-on stuff from IGN says that these are much smoother.
Okay.
However, Nintendo has not directly addressed the Joy-Con drift issue.
Yeah, which is a big issue.
So they're saying that these are completely built from the ground up. These are not just improved Joy-Con sticks. These are brand new sticks from the ground up. But they haven't gone into specifics about anti-drift stuff. But honestly, I didn't expect them to because it seems like both PlayStation and Nintendo had huge stick drift issues this generation or this past generation. So for them to come out and be like, oh yeah, we solved that problem for them to say that.
Yeah, you don't want to acknowledge that you have a problem.
Well, not only that, but it's like that's a bad idea because then what if you're wrong?
yeah, that's the other thing.
Like,
it's like when the Xbox
2 years,
One,
3 years down the line, who knows?
When the Xbox One was announced, they didn't go, "Oh, and we solved that overheating thing that caused all those red rings of death." They just quietly solved it and didn't make an issue of it. If you took apart an Xbox One, you could see how much work they put into solving it because the cooling system on that thing is fucking insane.
Yeah,
but they didn't talk about it, and it was never a problem.
Yeah, PS5 did the same thing. The PS4 was extremely loud. It was like some people refer to it as the jet engine.
Yeah, I remember it getting kind of loud.
Yeah, the PS5 fixed that issue as well. They're like, it's so quiet. Same. The Xbox Series, I don't even hear it.
Yeah,
like it's so quiet.
And that thing has a huge vent on the top, so you'd think it'd be super loud. But I guess it means because it can just move all that air through it, they don't have to pump the fan super hard. They can just keep it at a kind of leisurely pace. They got plenty of room to move air.
The only time I ever hear either of them is when there's a disc inside.
Yeah,
that's the only time I've ever heard it. So yes, great new sticks. Mouse controls. We've already kind of seen this in action, but this is how it works.
Oh, but wait for it. Are they gonna do? Where was the Metroid Prime thing?
Oh, but that's not until they show Metroid Prime.
Oh, because they showed the mouse control for Metroid Prime, and I was like, yeah, boy.
Yeah, no, that's later on in the presentation.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it looks great. The people that have tested, God, it's so hard to. There we go. The people that have tested out the mouse controls are saying it's very comfortable. The only problem that they had with, or they foresee people having with it, is having a good surface to use it on. Because when you're playing Switch, you're normally on a couch.
Yeah, but so Mr. Who's the Boss said that it worked fine against his legs. Like he could use it just like on his pants, and I mean, there's not a lot of room to move there, but it's a viable option at least.
Yeah, so
which
we'll see how that works.
Surprise me. These are optical sensors, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, these are not mouse wheels. Yeah, we're in a different era for sure.
Can you imagine how tiny the ball would have to be?
You saying I have tiny balls?
No, I'm saying the mouse has tiny balls.
All right.
Which, of course it does. It's a mouse.
It's a mouse. We always get off track at some point in the show.
Absolutely.
This one, I thought this one was a bit sketchy. I'm like, just by altering the treble and the mid and the bass frequencies, we've made a significant improvement to the speakers. I'm like, come on, guys.
Look, guys, nobody expects the built-in speakers to be incredible. We know they are tiny as fuck. The fact that they sound as good as they do is fine. Like whenever I'm playing the Switch, I have my headphones plugged in.
Yeah, me too.
Because why wouldn't I?
Or I play on the TV.
Yeah, or on the TV. Yeah.
But yeah, when they went over this, I was like, I don't know if you needed to mention this, but whatever. They did move the speakers though, so the speakers are no longer on the back of the unit. Yeah, they're on the bottom of the unit, which I don't know if that's going to be good or bad though, because like when I play Switch in handheld mode, I'm not holding it out typically like this. I'm usually holding it on my lap.
It's not the downward facing speakers are not really an issue unless you've got it like stood up perfectly.
But like I normally have them like sitting on my jeans, so like the speakers are going to be covered. We'll have to see.
I don't think it'll be that big of an issue.
No, I mean I won't be using it like that anyway. But
the Vita I think had downward facing speakers.
I'd have to go get it, but I don't remember. The built-in mic. So they showed this during the game chat feature. I'm a little skeptical about this. So they touted its great noise cancellation feature. They had like a guy in the background with a fucking blender.
Yeah, that one might be a bit of a bold claim, but
I'm like,
I mean, there is software that can separate that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're using some sort of AI voice, noise canceling
something that's been trained to recognize the frequency of human voices. I mean, that's how voice removal for like karaoke stuff works.
Yeah,
just looks for the frequencies common to human voices, so it probably just boosts those and stifles everything else.
It does confuse me a little bit why the mic was not put in the Joy-Con, in one of the Joy-Cons instead of the Switch
probably
itself.
Because of the rumble motor.
Yeah, that would make a lot of problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
John, what are you doing? I can't.
Yeah.
That would be funny. All right, that's fair.
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm surprised. Having more microphones provides better noise cancel, but who cares?
Yeah, we'll see.
Right? Like
We'll see.
it's for a game system. And if it's
I'm sure
close to
that
your
they
face in
will.
handheld mode, then it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
This one was weird to me because they're talking about 3D audio like it's some kind of fancy new thing. It's like, guys, what are you talking about?
So it is new. I don't know what the difference is because PlayStation does the same thing too with their Pulse and PlayStation 5 system.
But
they call it specifically 3D audio. They don't call it like surround sound. They call it 3D audio. So there's some sort of advancement when difference.
Like spatial audio has been around for a long time.
I will say I have the Pulse headset on PlayStation 5 with the 3D audio turned on, and it sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Can I tell the difference between that and like surround sound from the previous generations? Maybe in a side-by-side comparison, but I don't think it's like, I don't think it's like
I'm wearing just like plain ass Sony headphones, like common as dirt, could find them anywhere kind of thing. And like I get amazing spatial audio in games.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's really more down to a software thing than it is a hardware thing.
More of a game thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So now, here they talk about the stand.
This one I'm excited about because the stand on the original Switch is a piece of fucking shit.
Oh, it's garbage.
It is the single worst physical aspect of that thing, and I still hold true to my belief to this day that it was never meant to be a kickstand until someone said, hey, that could double as a kickstand. Let's move the pivot point up higher.
Yeah, I think it was just a cover for the SD card.
Yeah, like, because it doesn't make any sense for you to put it there or to have it like that. I think somebody just said, yeah, let's move that up, like,
I believe it.
5 centimeters, and it could kind of double as a kickstand.
I will say, and IGN's hands-on guys said the same thing, that this one's not as good as the OLED model stand. Have you seen the OLED model stand?
Yeah, the OLED model one is just like a flat piece.
Yeah, they basically just cut out.
Yeah.
For what? Like, why would you do that? You just made it weaker.
The Microsoft Surface line of tablets has like the entire back lower half is just a kickstand that comes out, and it's great. I don't know why they've done this, and I was kind of hoping that there would at least be like a piece of metal in there. It doesn't look like it's thick enough to hold any kind of metal that would make a difference. So
they do say it's flimsy in the video, like in the hands-on. They're like, yeah, I can see this thing snapping if it was done at the wrong angle or something. But
I mean, like the original kickstand is flimsy and it doesn't work. So at least
this one's
we're moving
miles
in the right
better.
Direction.
Yeah, they're at least moving in the right direction. I'm not sure if the OLED model goes this low either, though. So that could be another advancement.
I believe it does go pretty low. They might have improved the hinging design on this, or maybe not. I don't know. But I do know that the OLED has like smoother range of motion and can be sort of stopped at multiple points.
Right.
Now, what I'm wondering is, if those pop out, do they just pop in as easily as the hatch on the fucking Switch One?
It's a good question.
Now, this is one of my favorite design aspects, because this shit pissed me off constantly, not being able to charge it while playing it in tabletop mode. I cannot tell you how often my niece was disappointed by me having to charge the Switch before we could play it, because you can't like have it propped up and charging at the same time.
And now you can.
Yeah, it's like the easiest fucking fix in the world. Put another USB port on, guys. Come on. Why this wasn't in the OLED Switch is a fucking mystery to me.
Yeah. No, it's a great additional feature, and it's so simple,
Yeah.
Surprisingly, they didn't say anything about attaching your old Switch to it. I thought that might end up being a thing to play like DS games in the future. Like your old Switch screen can connect to the top, and now all of a sudden you can play DS classics on your Nintendo Online sub.
That'd be really awkward. Plus, with the resolution of this thing and the size of it, it's basically going to be the same as having just like a physical DS out. You could fit the top and bottom DS screen on this thing.
That's true. So they've upgraded the storage on the Switch 2, so the original had 32.
This surprised me a lot, because I figured it would be like, oh yeah, they'll go 64 gigabytes, because you know how Nintendo's cheap about stuff like that. No, they're going
256 is bigger, but the thing you got to always remember with the next console generation is that the games are going to be bigger too.
The games are going to be bigger too, yeah.
So I bet you could probably get like...
The Switch versions are typically smaller, though.
They are. but this thing's not as light in terms of its power, which we'll get
Yeah,
into in a bit.
yeah, that's true.
So we'll see.
But it still takes micro SD cards. Now they do have to be express
Well,
cards.
yeah, I think they go into that at
Yeah,
some
they
point.
do.
Okay, here's the dock. So here's the big one. This is when I went, oh, this is
The
going to be
power.
expensive.
Yeah,
Was
because
the
it's
power?
got the fucking fan and the cooling system in it.
Yeah.
That's where I
This
went,
thing's a
oh,
beast.
this thing is going to be powerful if they're bothering to putting in a cooling
Yeah,
system.
and this is where they confirmed 4K at 60 frames per second.
That's insane to me.
Which I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it. I think this is going to be one of those things where it's like very select games are able to do it because we don't get 4K 60 on PS5.
No, but Nvidia has confirmed that this does use DLSS.
So maybe that's what's going to get it for them.
Yeah, because
which is also why it's raising the price.
Yeah, well, they put out a statement on their website saying that we are powering the Switch 2 and it will support DLSS, which is honestly fine with me because DLSS looks great.
Yep.
Like it looks really, really good. So
it's the best AI upscaling out there right now. So.
Yeah, well, because it's trained on a per game basis.
Yep. Yeah,
so
that
it's
fan
not
in the
just
back.
their generic scaling model. It's also their model specific to each game, which makes me wonder: is every Switch 2 game, or is it just going to be the ones that support DLSS have it?
I assume that the software will have to support it. I assume.
Yeah,
because they're not. They haven't.
Every single game is going to have to go through the DLSS process.
Yeah.
But maybe.
I
suppose there's nothing that prevents them from implementing FSR because that's open. Anybody can use that.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Although it hasn't historically, in my experience, it has not worked great on the consoles. So
FSR isn't as good.
No, it's getting better. Near as good.
It's getting better. The next version of FSR has had some really, really promising results in areas where it's been really bad before, but it's not as good as DLSS. It's just not.
I've played it on 2 games on the console, and they both were pretty rough. There's this almost like, I think I've described it before, like the fog of war in certain games, how things pop in, but then there's certain ones that sparkle in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they it's there's almost that effect on the screen the whole time.
Yeah, it has a problem with really fine details. Like the video I saw was showing the confetti in Ratchet and Clank. The opening part where there's the big celebration for the two of them.
Yep.
There's all that confetti. And the current version of FSR, it just destroys that confetti effect. It just vanishes. Because it gets in the upscale and it just gets eaten. But the next version that they were previewing with it maintains it really well. So the next version will be good. The next version's not out yet. So it remains to be seen how it'll be implemented on Switch.
We shall see.
But DLSS is going to be there. So.
Yeah, DLSS is on board for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they just keep confirm here that Switch games are compatible, with the exception of a certain few.
They say that some of them won't. I think that's an ass covering thing, like when they say kills 99.9% of germs.
They did actually release a compatibility list of games.
Oh, did they? I didn't see that. Yeah,
they have.
Okay.
Yeah. We can go into it after if we want.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were a few things that didn't work just because of weird technical reasons. That's always the case with backwards compatibility.
A lot of them are online games, like Fortnite. So they'll have to make a Switch 2 Fortnite version.
They are making a Switch 2 Fortnite version.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's in this video.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I remember looking at that and saying, but Fortnite is already on Switch.
Yeah.
So that explains then why. Overwatch will probably be another one. The Switch version of Overwatch.
Yeah, probably.
If that even still works today.
Yeah, none of the cloud versions of Switch games will work.
I don't expect them to. You don't need to have cloud versions of them now.
What was the other thing that I wanted to mention before we went on here?
God, imagine how fucking good the next Mario Maker is going to be with a mouse support.
Or Mario Paint.
God, I was hoping during this whole thing that we'd see a new Mario Paint. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, Mario Maker does have some of Mario Paint in it. Like, there's some sound effects and stuff that are taken from Mario Paint.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So, Switch compatible games. So in last week's episode, we assumed that games that use peripherals, like Ring Fit and stuff like that, were not going to work. That is not the case.
Oh.
So they have confirmed that you can connect your Switch 1 Joy-Cons to Switch 2.
For use in Switch 1 games or for use in anything?
They have not confirmed whether you can use them on Switch 2 games, but you can use them to play Switch 1 games.
That
so
makes
you
sense.
can bring your Joy-Cons over to connect to your Switch 2.
Well, you wouldn't be able to use them for games that need the mouse functionality, of course.
No.
But okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, in fact, the compatibility list for accessories came out, and all of the controllers are compatible. So like the N64, NES, Super NES Classic,
God, that's
GameCube,
good because those things are fucking expensive.
Yeah, all that stuff is still compatible, and the Joy-Cons. But anything other than that is pretty much not compatible.
Yeah.
So, let's see what else we got here. Okay, so this next part is where we start getting into some controversy, which there's not a whole lot of controversy in this direct, but this is one of them.
Not in this direct, but in the days that
follow. No, there's some in the direct too, but this is the big one. For me.
This is a paid game.
Yeah, so why in the fuck is this a paid game?
This had better be like $5 at most.
Even if it's $5, why? Okay.
Yeah.
Also, this video is absolutely stupid. Watch. This is the footage you captured. Look at this guy. He's like walking into an invisible wall, and then they just fade it to if he's down there. Like, so what? The game does the game not have a jump animation yet? So you're like, oh, we'll just have him go. Like, what the fuck was that? I watched it and I was like, did I just see that? What the fuck? And then it's like, hey, what are the magnets? What do they do?
Work?
And I'm like, okay, so this is the pack-in shit that comes with it.
Where are the magnets? Not where.
Sorry, where are the magnets?
Yeah.
As if I didn't fucking know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's some interesting stuff in here. I'm not saying that this is a bad product.
They explained how there's a thing in here somewhere where they explain how the rumble motors work, which I kind of already knew because obviously it's going to be the back and forth type, like in a cell phone. But it's just nice to have that information displayed there, like as a technical thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of tech demos and stuff in here. And it looks kind of cool until there's the rumble right there.
Yeah, and I'm super glad that they're keeping HD Rumble because I fucking love HD Rumble. It's great.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Well,
yeah, and then we get this little thing that's a paid digital only game.
Why?
What were they thinking? There's no pack-in for Switch 2.
Yeah,
what?
This honestly,
they might change their mind.
They might, yeah.
They might after
really
the backlash.
Should be a pack-in title.
This should be absolutely included on board the Switch 2.
Because it's basically an interactive manual.
It is.
I'm not going to pay for interactive documentation.
And you haven't played Astro's Playroom, which is the pack-in that came with PS5. It's a fucking great game. Like, it's an 8 out of 10 game. And it's a pack-in.
Yeah.
And then you get this, and it's like...
Remember when Super Mario World was a pack-in?
Yeah, like, what the... Like, what were they... I don't know who thought this was a good idea to charge for this. So I hope they go back on that. So that was maybe one of my only sour points in this
Well, I've got one coming up.
Okay. Well, here's the game card stuff. So the game card is exactly the same size. Yeah, just a different color. So they'll both fit in the game card slot.
I assume if you put it in the Switch One, it'll give you a message being like, "Hey, this doesn't work on Switch One."
Yeah. Now there is a controversy about the game cards that came out after this. Thing here. Let me just make sure that there was nothing else to talk about the game cards here. Okay, there wasn't. Okay. So regarding the game cards, it has been confirmed that certain physical titles on Switch 2, the game card will have nothing on it except for a key to download the game.
Oh, fuck that.
So that's bullshit because you're buying a physical product and then what happens in 20 years when the shop doesn't exist?
That's
so now you just have nothing
about that. Fuck that.
Yeah. Now they haven't been specific about if there's a way to tell whether the game card is a full game on the cart or what. I certainly hope
that they will denote it because on Switch 1 for games that don't fit on the cart, because I guess they didn't want to spring for like a 32 gig card. There are games that say requires internet connection to complete installation or something to that effect. I think one of the NBA 2K whatever games says that. I've seen games with that notice on it.
Actually, here's a specific update here. So this is an article from IGN. I'll read it here. So I haven't read this yet. So we'll learn about this problem together.
Learning.
So Nintendo has confirmed that those sleek new Switch 2 game cards won't always carry an actual game and will instead sometimes simply contain a key for a game download. The Super Mario Brothers company detailed how it will update its approach to physical game cartridges in a customer support post published shortly after this morning's Nintendo 2 Direct. It explains that when the Switch 2 arrives this June, you'll be able to carry on purchasing physical Switch games just as you've done in the last 8 years, but there are a few things to keep in mind. The post in question focuses on game key cards, physical cards that only contain a key to download your chosen game. That means there's no actual game data on the card you insert into your Switch 2, so you'll need to download it once the card is inserted. Every game key card case will be appropriately labeled, there we go, on the lower portion of the front of the box. So if you're concerned about what exactly you're purchasing, you should have a heads up right away. And there is an image here that it's very obvious.
Okay.
I will say. So
that's good.
It's basically the cover. The cover of the Switch box is it's basically the same as the Switch, except it's red. So it's got the Switch 2 logo at the top. At the bottom, at the bottom left-hand side, there's the ESRB rating, and then there's a big white panel along the bottom that says "Game Key Card" on it. And then there's like a bunch of
information. This doesn't make any sense to me though, because why would you even bother? Like now you've brought in the manufacturing and shipping and supply issues that come with physical games. Like that's the biggest argument to move to digital, so you don't have to deal with that shit. And now you're going back to it, but it's still a digital download only. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's the stupidest shit I ever heard.
So it says, so the article goes on to say
also, it appears the people who are going to be buying those games are the ones who maybe don't have internet access or don't have enough like bandwidth per month to download. So they'll
look at that and go, well, how am I supposed to get the game?
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah. So the article goes on to say, it appears the game keycard approach will likely be reserved for a few, especially hefty games that might benefit from the key strategy, games that are essentially large. So Hogwarts Legacy, Final Fantasy Remake, Cyberpunk 2077, all come in at a whopping 64 gigabyte on the Switch 2 launch day.
Then fucking put a 64 gig chip in there. I mean, you're already charging like $90 for the fucking games.
Well, hold on. Let me read that again, because the wording here is weird. CD Projekt Red has already confirmed Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition will ship with a game card that comes in at a whopping 64 gigabyte. Okay, so there is a game card that has the... Yeah, okay.
So they sprang for it. Good.
Yeah. So it seems to be on a game per game basis, maybe a publisher choice. Additionally, as explained during the Switch 2 Direct, Nintendo seems pretty proud of the new tech it's upgraded Red card game support. They're said to come with faster data rating speeds than what was seen on the original hybrid console from 2017. A fact the company wouldn't need to point out if all of its cartridges were simple key containers. Let's not forget that Nintendo has bent the definition of what a game card offers before, with some notable original Switch examples being LA Noire and NB 2K18, which both required additional downloads out of the box.
Yeah.
So no specifics about like what games are going to be game key card only, but I would say that
they're
label
at least
on that
being
box,
open about it.
They're at least being open about it, and I think that like anyone who sees that on the box is going to go, okay, well, there's no point in me buying this.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Might as well just download it, because that's all you'll be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Cut out the middleman.
Let me make sure I haven't forgotten anything here in the tech spec stuff.
To bring up to address the memory card thing. So they did say that it will require SD Express, which is a much faster bandwidth. That's understandable. This is kind of like how the PS5 will only accept NVMe compatible hard drives because it needs that fast loading speed. This is the same kind of thing. I do think it kind of sucks that you, at least from what it sounds like, you can't even use a standard SD card for Switch games, which is kind of bullshit, because I have a bunch of digital Switch games installed on SD cards.
They do go into a sort of a workaround for that in the Direct. Yeah.
But I don't want to use their workaround. I don't want to do the internet thing. I want to just plug in the SD card and say transfer my purchases and stuff to Switch 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing they don't go into in the direct, which I'll go to in here because they're kind of still going over hardware related stuff, is the battery. They don't talk about the battery, and there's a reason that they don't talk about the battery.
Yeah, I've heard the battery life isn't as good.
So the Switch 1 boasted a range between 2.5 to 6.5 hours, depending on the game that you played.
Which is not great.
The newer Nintendo Switch model, not the OLED, but the sort of the new Nintendo Switch which came out later with the improved battery, had 4.5 to 9 hours.
That's better.
The OLED model also has 4.5 to 9 hours, and the Lite has 3 to 7 hours. The Switch 2 is 2 to 6.5. So it's actually worse than the Switch 1.
Yeah,
slightly.
Well, I mean, you are powering more powerful hardware.
Yeah, you have a 1080p
screen with a much brighter backlight.
Yeah, bigger screen. Yeah, 1080p, more power. It's kind of inevitable, I think.
We've gotten used to 2.5 hours of Zelda. I'm sure we'll survive, but that was an issue at launch. I was like, wow, I'm out of battery. Like I remember having to charge my Switch like twice a day while starting the day on a full charge. Yeah.
All right, let's continue here. Yeah, so they go on to the SD cards here.
Yeah. Dude, I want to get Mario branded SD cards.
Yeah, so we've already gone over that. So yeah, this is the transfer data option.
You do it online.
Yeah, so you can use systems transfer to transfer save data to digital games.
Does it specifically say online, or is it just wireless?
It didn't really specifically say.
Maybe it's just wireless? Hopefully.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Because that'd be cool.
We'll have to get more information on that.
You do have to link your Switch 2 with your Nintendo account, just like to confirm your... Yeah, you have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of the digital games transfer, I'm like, who cares? I can just log on to the store once I get my Switch 2 and just download what I want. Like,
you just do that.
It's
more for like save data.
Yeah, that's the only thing there. So next up, it goes into the Switch 2 Pro controller, which comes with these 2 extra buttons on the back.
Yeah, they're like macro buttons, so you can map them to whatever.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I wish there was a Pro controller that didn't have these. I fucking hate these buttons.
Or you can just not use them.
But I mean, they're right on the grip. I'm like, I don't want to accidentally click them. Even if they don't do anything. Even if they don't do anything, they're clicking while I'm moving.
I'm not distracted by that, but I can understand why it would be distracting.
Yeah, my third-party Switch controller has that, and I regret buying it. Yeah.
I want to know are the triggers pressure sensitive? Because that will make Mario Kart a lot better. And all racing games better. But it doesn't seem...
They have not said. From what I recall from the IGN hands-on, they said the Switch 2 controller is essentially identical to the Switch 1 Pro controller with a couple of differences. Number one, the sticks are the same upgraded sticks from the Joy-Con. Yeah. So they're upgraded. The D-pad seems like it's better. They didn't get to test it thoroughly because there weren't any D-pad games at the preview event.
Yeah.
And the buttons have been significantly changed. The face buttons. They do not feel anywhere near as similar to the Switch 1 controller. They did say they liked it though. Okay. But they did not make any references to the top buttons, so I would make the assumption that
changed. That was always so bizarre to me.
Yeah.
Like, because that basically eliminates racing games from your system as like, oh, these could be really good because you don't have like a pressure sensitive throttle anymore. Yeah. Like outside of like Mario Kart, which has never really been about precision, even though I do like the ability to be precise, even if it's not really a precision game.
Yeah. I do appreciate the audio jack on the controller. That's nice.
Meh. Either way for me. Take it or leave it.
Oh yeah, so there's the release date.
Yep.
June 5th. 2025, so only 2 months away.
I did not think it was going to be that soon. That really surprised me.
I figured it was going to be either June or July. June 5th is a little bit odd because that's like dead center of the summer of gaming stuff. So like there's going to be a lot going on at that time. So it seems like a odd time to do that, but sure. We will get into more about this later though.
Oh yeah,
there's more to talk about on the date. So then they go into the types of games you can play on Nintendo Switch, which is of course Switch 2 games. like Mario Kart World, which is, by the way, an exclusive. It is not a cross-gen game. It is exclusive to Switch 2. Bold decision.
Bold, but like good.
Also,
because I wouldn't want to see it handicapped by having to cater to the previous
Take
generation.
a hint, PlayStation and Xbox. Take a hint. This is what you do when you do a new console.
Otherwise we'd have like 30 FPS Mario Kart with half the draw distance, and I don't want that.
No. And then we have obviously compatible Switch 1 games, which we've gone into already. But then we have what we all were wondering about, which is Switch 2 edition games.
Yes.
And essentially what these are, for all intents and purposes, these are remasters. They're remasters. They're remasters. So like on PlayStation 5, this would be called a remaster. So like Days Gone remastered, that's what this is. It's the PlayStation 5 version of a PlayStation 4 game. And in this case, these games are Switch games on Switch 2 with upgraded features, visuals, etc., so on and so forth.
But they also said that if you own the Switch 1 versions, you can get the upgrades. You can download them.
Which is the same on PlayStation.
But there's apparently a cost associated with that.
Yep, same on PlayStation. It's $10 on PlayStation, which I'm okay with.
That's not okay with that. I mean, well, in this case here, you got Super Mario Party Jamboree plus this new thing. Fine. If it comes with new content, I'm fine with paying for the upgrade. But if it's just 60 FPS and 1080p, I'm not going to fucking pay for that. I already paid for that. It's called the Switch 2.
Well, I'll agree to disagree there. I'm fine with paying the extra $10. It's not like no work went into it. Someone had to go in there and up-res the textures and make sure the game was running better.
But did they even do that for all of these? Or is it just type in the resolution value to now 1080p instead of 900p on Zelda?
You have to ask them. I'm not sure.
Increase the frame rate cap. I mean, obviously there's a little bit more to it than that, but I don't know, man.
Now, here's the question, though. $10 is fine. I've paid $10 for Last of Us 2 and Horizon. Although the Horizon was a remake.
In that case,
was a big
that's
deal.
Different because that is actually a full-on remake of everything.
Yeah, the Last of Us 2 was just a remaster, though.
Yeah, in the case of Horizon, it's a good deal.
Yeah, it was a great deal.
Because you're getting a massive discount for already owning the original. If it's just, hey, we fucking, bumped up the resolution and frame rate, man, fuck that. I would not pay a dime for that shit.
$10 is not a lot of money, though. So I'm okay with it.
It's not a lot of money, but it's not about it being a lot of money. It's about charging for every little thing.
I am on your side on one thing here, though. They did not at any point before, during, or after ever state the cost of the upgrade pack. They still haven't said that.
Nope.
And that makes me fucking nervous.
Yeah.
Because this is Nintendo, and we're going to get into pricing later, so I'm going to keep that all for later.
Yeah.
But if PlayStation's charging $10 for their upgrades, I can foresee a world where Nintendo charges 20 or 30.
Yeah.
For these upgrade packs.
Never. You know what I'll do?
That would be bullshit.
You know what I'll do? I'll fucking download a Switch emulator and run them at an unlocked frame rate myself.
Yeah.
Try and stop me, Nintendo. I already bought a Switch. I already bought Zelda. I am legally entitled to those features and functions. I'm not breaking the law.
Yeah. Yeah, so here's the upgrade pack. It doesn't say the cost on this at all, so it is cool. In this case, you do get extra content, although it's not good extra content. I don't know if you paid attention, but the Jamboree TV edition is it's all the gimmicky stuff that Switch 2 brings.
Yeah, but I also don't give a shit about Mario Party.
Yeah, I know. But
I was burned on that the day that I scarred my fucking palms.
But if I was interested in Super Mario Party Jamboree, I couldn't give two shits about some camera games.
Yeah.
I played Kinect already. I don't need to play that shit.
Yeah.
This is not a substantial upgrade to me.
It'll depend on the game. It'll depend on the game. If it's something that's really good and it's just an expansion and it's $10, sure, fine. Yeah. Whatever. But that's expansion with upgrades. It should not be upgrades that you're paying for.
Fair. Yeah, so
it's straight up Kinect shit.
I'm not doing that fucking shit. Who gives a fuck?
Absolutely not.
No. Now
I play video games so I don't have to exercise.
Yeah,
I
no,
do
this
actually
is the
need
big,
to exercise very
this is the
desperately.
thing that everyone was anticipating. So you and me had talked about this, and you said there's no way they're doing a Breath of the Wild remastered. Not only do we get Breath of the Wild, we get Tears of the
Yeah,
Kingdom as
but
well.
is it remastered? We don't know. It could just
Yeah,
be all the original assets with the frame rate and the resolution bumped up. That's not a remaster. That's just going
no.
in and changing some
Well,
text values.
this is what I meant, but it also has HDR, so it
Yeah,
is going to
which
look
you
better.
can also do with fucking shaders.
Yeah, but
When I say remaster, I'm talking about rebuilding like all of the textures and models to modern
oh
standards.
fuck, no, no,
No,
no,
that's not what this is.
no.
This
But
is
that okay. So here's the thing: is that because you don't own an Xbox Series or a PlayStation 5, you are not used to this. Yes, this is already something I've been doing and playing with since PS5 and Xbox Series came out, because that's what they do all the time. The amount of PS4 and Xbox One games that they've done this kind of thing to is astronomical. Like
Yeah.
it's insane.
Mhm.
And I've played. If I already own that version, the old version, and I pay $10, then I get this up-res version that runs so much better and has better visuals and in some cases extra content. So this to me is like, this is what I want. This is basically the game how I want it to play.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm
already
saying?
paid for the game. It should be a fucking free. You paid for that shit already.
But
I can't believe you're okay with it. It's mind blowing.
I'm okay with it if it's $10. But if they try to charge 20 or 30, they can go fuck themselves.
No.
Twice.
You bought the new system. That is the upgrade fee. That is the.
But
upgrade
someone still
fee.
had to do work though, so $10 is nothing for that. For another 800 hours that I'm going to spend on Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
I'll pay
but
$10.
when does it stop then? Somebody had to do extra work to fix bugs and patches. Are you going to be like, yeah, sure, I'll pay for that bug fix? No,
to me that's an expectation that I bought the product that should work properly.
Dude,
and
in some cases, bumping the resolution is less work than patching the bugs. I mean, it depends on what the bug is.
Yeah, it depends on the bug.
I would not pay for a fucking resolution upgrade. No, fuck that. Never. Absolutely never.
I mean, I could care less about the resolution. I care more about the frame rate, because the Tears of the Kingdom frame rate dropped like every 30 seconds.
Yeah, I would never pay for this shit.
Now they did say the hands-on for the Switch 2 editions of the Zelda games. They basically said like, this is exactly what I needed out of Zelda. I cannot wait to dive into these games with it playing and looking as good as it does. Especially
I mean the footage looks great. Like obviously we're not seeing it here because you're at 480p, which is 30 FPS on YouTube.
Yeah.
But when you watch this at 60 FPS, it looks great. Yeah, like we're seeing it at 30 right now, so it just looks the same. But if you watch this on YouTube at 720 or 1080 or whatever the fuck high resolutions they have, you will see it at 60, and yeah, it looks awesome. But people have been playing Breath of the Wild at 60 on emulators for years. I'm not going to pay for the privilege of, throwing more money into a game that I already bought, that I already bought the DLC for, and then I'm going to buy the new system to play it on. No.
Speaking of which, it's kind of weird that Tears never got DLC.
I'm fine with that. It's a huge game. It's a huge game. It doesn't need it.
No. I don't know. I've always been okay with the $10. I'm not okay if they go higher than that, though.
No, I'm not okay with it at all.
That's fair.
We strongly disagree on that point.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I would never pay more than $10 for it because I think that's gouging at that point. But
they're already gouging with the prices of games and accessories on the Switch. They're so expensive.
Yeah. Well,
and they never come down in price.
Yeah. They talked about this. This is what pissed me off about this whole presentation. I'm like,
oh, the companion app. I don't fucking care.
So there's some so cool stuff in here. Like they've added full audio logs to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom from that they've just spread out over the game, but you need the app in order to do it. They've done this photo mode. They've done play data recording and like all this cool stat tracking features and all this navigation help assistance. So like the biggest problem with the game, one of the only problems with the game because it's near perfect, is the fact that there's like how many Orkrok seeds or Orok seeds?
Yeah, there's
500 or some shit.
900.
900. Mm-hmm. And there's no way to track which ones you've got and which ones you haven't got. So it's like unless you start writing it down on a map at some point, you're not going to know. So this game does help you with that because it will lead you to.
Can you fucking imagine?
What?
You bring the world map into Photoshop and you have a layer where you cross off all the places.
Yeah.
I did that shit for Metroid 2 and it was excruciating. I don't want to do it for 900 Korok seeds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why wasn't there something in the game that did this? And then they have the opportunity to do that in the game, and instead what they do is they go, let's put an app on your phone. Second screen experience.
The app is free, so it's a better deal than the upgrade.
Yeah, but you still have to pay for the upgrade to get the Switch 2 version. It only works with the Switch 2 version.
Yeah, now you're pissed about the upgrade.
No,
Good.
but like this
I need the fire in you.
I like the upgrades for the Switch 2 version, but the fact that this
I don't like paying for it.
If this was in the Switch 2 edition, that would be sick. But the fact that they were like, instead of putting it in the game, let's put it on a fucking phone. I'm like, are you stupid?
Yeah,
no one's gonna give two shits about this now.
I don't want to have my phone out while I'm playing.
No.
At that point, it's like I might as well be playing a game on my phone and have a second phone where I'm looking up a walkthrough on it.
Yeah, like, exactly. No, it's like, why did you do this? So stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, that pissed me off. And then it's not just that, but it's this this vehicle sharing features.
That's actually a cool feature that should legitimately be in the game.
It should be in the game. Yeah. Like, why isn't it in the game?
Yeah.
Oh, scan the QR code and then you can put it in your game. Fuck you. Why is it not in the game?
I will say I do like how you can do the QR code on the Switch. So like in order to transfer like screenshots from the Switch to my phone, I don't have to do some like connection or some fucking shit. I just take a picture of the QR code and it creates a web server on my Switch that I can navigate to over Wi-Fi. I don't even have to turn on Bluetooth. I could just connect to it as though it is a website and download the screenshot. It's great.
Yeah. So yeah, don't like Zelda notes. Stupid. Then they showed off Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition, which comes with basically DLC.
Yeah.
I haven't played this game yet, so I can't really comment.
It's fine. It's a Kirby game.
Yeah, I played the demo. It seemed competent. I don't know how robust the DLC is, but
I have no idea.
At least you get some additions there.
Yeah.
Then we got Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, the Switch 2 edition.
So this is going to be cross-generational, like we were speculating it might be.
Yeah, this is the big one, right? Except this game actually looks 1,000 times better on Switch 2.
God, I freaked out so much when I saw this. I wanted mouse controls for Metroid Prime for so long.
Yeah, so if you go back and you watch the Switch 1 Direct with the trailer, I was watching that and I was like, I remember it looking better than this from the original trailer that they did, and I'm like, oh, maybe they showed the Switch 2 version on the first one.
The Switch 2 version.
Yeah, because this looks way better.
So good, yeah.
And the fact that it's got 4K 60 HDR.
Yeah, I know. Or 1080p, 120 FPS.
That's fucking crazy.
It's nuts.
Now, I will say that PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series could probably do this.
Oh, yeah. There are games that do 120.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah, there are games that have 120 FPS support. There's not a lot of them, but they do exist.
There's like
2. Yeah, but they do. That's the point. They do exist. That does not conflict with my statement. There's not a lot of them. They do exist. There's 2. But that's the criteria.
But ray tracing is what I'm trying to get at here. Is that this is without ray tracing? Clearly, there's if this includes ray tracing, that explains something that we're going to talk about later.
Well, that's the other thing that NVIDIA said is that the Switch
does have ray tracing ability.
Does have accelerated ray tracing hardware, so it will support it. Now, whether or not it's going to be used in Metroid Prime 4, I don't know. Because if it's going to be on Switch 1, they've obviously built the lighting model for non-ray tracing, so it'll probably be something like ray traced shadows or ray traced reflections, if at all.
Yeah, this doesn't look ray traced at all to me. From
what
I mean,
it depends on how they're implementing it.
Yeah. But it does look gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks
I hope
nice.
it's a good game.
I sure hope as well. I was let down by Prime 2 and to a certain degree by Prime 3.
Yeah. Still a little surprised we haven't got a release date for this yet. That makes me slightly nervous, but I'm assuming that means
Yeah.
it's going to be a fall game or potentially delayed into spring of 2026.
Maybe, but I'm just so happy to have it like be real.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, there's another game that is ostensibly real, which we will get to as we come to it.
So this game still looks fugly as shit. I can't believe
it looks okay. It doesn't look as good as Prime. It looks better. Yeah,
it looks better than the Switch version, but like, look at those. Come on,
it's a very
look at those building
game.
Textures. Look at that.
They're not amazing. Well, I mean, also
that's some N64 GameCube shit.
Well,
hold on. Bad.
If there's anything to complain about, it's the bush there that is made out of pieces of paper with photos of leaves on them. Okay, that's the issue. The simplified anime style textures on the buildings is not the problem. This is an anime looking game. It's going to have a simplified visual style. Okay, but the bush is the problem.
The bush does look bad, but like, this is a 2D texture for a 3D model.
Yeah, all textures are 2D.
But
no, I know what you mean. It doesn't.
But they're not though. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't have bump mapping. It doesn't have like, or at least it doesn't look like it does.
Yeah, if I looked at a building in The Last of Us, it's gonna have 3D balconies that come out, even if they're just coming out like this.
Yeah, it's either gonna be detail that's modeled right into the building mesh, or it's gonna have like tessellation where the texture has height data that extrudes in real time.
This is just flat as my freaking ass, man. Like, it's
Jesus. Okay, too much info.
It just looks terrible. I
don't think it looks terrible. I just think it doesn't look amazing.
Nah, it doesn't look good. Yeah. So this is the current list of Switch 2 edition games available, both physical and digital.
Yeah,
and they all have an upgrade pack.
Yeah, purchase it and fuck that, man. I don't like that. Now, here's my concern. Is that going to be mandatory for any game that gets an upgrade pack, or is it going to be up to the developer? Because I believe
it's up to the developer, because
I hope it's up to the developer.
Yeah,
because Nintendo might enforce it. They might say, "Well, we want a cut of every upgrade."
Yeah. So from my experience on the PlayStation and Xbox Series, there are certain games that get a PS5 patch.
Okay.
That has like up-res the game.
Yeah.
But typically the remastered, the paid upgrade ones are typically better than those ones. So
honestly, I don't need new textures or assets. I just want Zelda to run at 60.
I don't think they have. Yeah, I don't think they have new assets.
Yeah, I don't need any of that shit. So I'm fine with just like a patch that just unlocks the frame rate or something.
Yeah. So the next thing they showed off was
this next game looks cool as shit.
I have two thoughts that are very opposed on this game.
So okay, yes, I am kind of getting ARMS vibes from it.
That's not what I was going to say, but I do agree. There is some ARMS vibes here.
Like,
for sure.
It looks good. It might not play well, but it's the same thing with ARMS. I like the idea of ARMS. I didn't like the execution of it, but I like the idea. I like the idea of this. The execution remains to be seen. But, like, who the fuck out there is making a wheelchair basketball game? That's cool
Nintendo.
as shit, man.
Yeah,
Nintendo.
Yeah,
nobody else.
That's one of my free throws. The fuck is wrong with my mouth today?
You were thinking free throws because you're talking about a basketball game.
Yeah, so Drag and Drive is the name of the game. First of all, terrible name. And can we stop with the whole X replacing and stuff?
It's a Japanese thing.
Oh, it's so fucking stupid. I hate it.
Yeah, I agree.
Just put and or cross, or save this for the cross branding shit. I'm fine with that, but like now you're putting it in names. Like, okay, it's getting annoying. And especially when they verbally call it Drag and Drive. So the X means and cross now. It's like, fuck. It's annoying. So that was my first thought. My second thought is, the idea of the game is brilliant. This might be a huge hit just because of the idea of it. It might be supported by tons of individuals who, especially people in wheelchairs, probably go bananas over this game.
Yeah.
The one thing I think is there's two things I am worried about with this game. Number one, holy shit, your arms are going to get tired on this game.
Not there's as tired as driving a real wheelchair.
No, and that's that could be the point of it, is to show you like, hey, like the people that actually play wheelchair games.
People who play wheelchair basketball are fucking badass, man.
Yeah, like that.
Their arms are so jacked.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they're using their arms for everything. So, like, put all the leg workout that you get and put it into your arms.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Arms.
it's insane.
There's a reference.
Hey, bad game.
Hey.
Good idea. Bad game.
Yeah. So
hopefully this will be better.
So I like the idea of this game. The one thing that I will say about this game, though, it's fucking ugly.
It is very simple. It is very
This looks like
looking.
A tech demo.
It does look like a tech demo.
Like, is this early gameplay and this game's not coming out until like 2026, 2027, and this is just a proof of concept?
Maybe.
Or is this going to be like a $20 game? That they're just throwing out there. I mean,
it could be, this could be like a Splatoon kind of situation where this is just like a basic arena and they'll have like themed ones.
Yeah, it could
that'll be like that'll have like an audience in a stadium. Yeah, this looks like a tech demo.
Yeah,
I don't think it's fair to call it ugly. I think it's fair to call it really, really basic and simplified.
Really basic and uninspired.
I don't know. It's got kind of like a cool robot thing going on. I wouldn't say it's uninspired. Well, the character designs aren't uninspired. The court design, yeah, it's a little uninspired.
Okay, never mind. Summer 2025. So
okay, it's coming soon.
So it's a tech demo. This has to be like a $20 game.
Yeah. Or there's just more to it that they haven't shown. I don't know why they wouldn't show it. So it's probably like a
like why do all the characters look exactly the same? Why are there not like individual character designs? Like they're all just different.
I mean, it would be cool if you had Mii's in there, and who knows, maybe there will be Mii's in there. But I suspect it has to do with the arm mapping, because you know how Mii's don't have like really realistic arms; they just kind of like have stubs.
But I mean, they didn't have to use Mii's; they could have some other customizable thing. I mean,
maybe there's robot basketball customization or something. Who knows?
Yeah,
they didn't show a lot of this, other than this is what you do with it. I think it's a really cool concept. It remains to be seen if it's a good game.
Yeah, well, time will tell. The guys that played it at IGN said that it was fun, but they got tired really, really fast.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not going to have. I was going to say it's probably not going to have legs, but I decided against that. It's probably not going to have a ton of.
Why did you say that when I was drinking? Don't do that. Jesus,
it's probably not going to have a ton of life in it, because it's just a basketball game.
Gonna have legs. Oh my god, I can't believe you said that.
Well, I didn't say it. I said I was going to say it, but then I didn't.
You said
No, that's different. That's
you fucking said it.
It's different. It's different. It's different if you say that you weren't gonna... Just shut up. It's different, okay? It's different.
Oh, God.
It's
we're going to get canceled for that.
I have a cane, motherfucker. I can do that.
Oh, my God.
I have 2 canes.
I can't believe you said that. That's so funny.
I'm allowed to say that. You know my legs are fucked.
It remains to be
I have the cripple pass.
Oh God!
I can say it.
I don't know why that had like a delayed impact on me. Oh my God!
I'm cheering up.
Oh my God!
This is harder than we laughed at the end of last week's show.
Yeah, that was. Oh my God!
Okay,
the delayed.
We gotta keep moving.
The delayed humor.
Yeah, that shit's a time bomb.
Oh God. Okay. Jesus Christ.
Are you as lightheaded as I am right now?
Yeah, I can't open my right eye at this point.
Here's Elden Ring. Here's a really obvious.
Oh shit.
Oh God. Okay. We got.
Okay. Haven't laughed like that in a while. That was a good one. Okay.
Oh.
Woo.
A little bit dizzy.
Oh man, love it.
We're good. Dragon Drive looks fine. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
What are we doing? We're doing Elden Ring. Yeah, I played Elden Ring. Great for the people who haven't played it.
Yeah, Tarnished Edition.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it comes with the DLC. Like, why wouldn't it?
I have to assume
This
so.
is like the one Nintendo Switch game that I can justify being $90 because it's still a pretty recent game and it has a massive DLC that is like 50% more games. So $90 actually is a really good price point for it. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's a huge game. So yeah, this is the third party section. I'll go quickly kind of through it. Hades 2 is also coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't. It sucks that Hades 2 is coming to Switch 2 first. I'm like, that means I gotta wait because that means it'll come to PS5, but probably like 6 months later. So that's unfortunate.
I mean, they launched on Switch originally, so they probably want to.
I know. I want to play it, and I'm not gonna buy a Switch 2 to do it. Spoiler alert for later. So yeah, Hades 2. What else we got in here? We got Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
And then we had this random anime game I've never heard of. It was like Demon X Machina.
This was a title in the original Switch, Demon X Machina. Yeah, this is a sequel. It was like Armored Core. It was like anime Armored Core.
Yeah. Then we got Split Fiction.
It's not as good as Armored Core.
Oh, that's fair.
But it was.
Sorry, I'm still catching my breath. Jesus.
Yeah. Well.
Don't start again. I just got my breath back. Yeah. So Split Fiction coming to Switch 2. That's great. People will love it there, especially if it has game share. That'd be great. It's already got the friend pass, so maybe it doesn't even need it.
Yeah.
Then Madden came in, and
your teeth hurt. My teeth kind of hurt from clenching my jaw so much.
When I laugh, I usually like lose my breath. Like I can't breathe for a second, so like my mouth doesn't close. I'm just lucky I didn't
have an asthma attack, because then that would really derail the show.
Yeah, we have no pause feature. So yeah, EA
we
came
actually
out and was,
do though. We actually 100% do. We're just nervous about using it.
No, they got rid of it. It's gone.
Oh, they did. Oh,
yeah.
Oh dear.
There's only a stop feature now. Yeah, no
Don't
pausing
do
anymore.
That.
I know, it's weird.
God,
so yeah, EA came out and was
2.5 hours into this.
Yep.
We're not even done the direct yet.
Yeah, we're getting there. It's not the full video.
EA Sports, whatever. They've been making them for 30, 40 fucking years, whatever.
Yeah, EA came up and was like, "Hey, we're making EA games," and we're like,
what a fucking shock!
Good for you guys. This one was a shocker. Hogwarts Legacy.
Why?
Because this game is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, but it's Switch 2.
Yeah, I know, but I did not expect that the Switch 2 was going to be able to handle PS5 games. I was like,
well, it's probably not going to look quite as good as the PS5 version.
Well, at the beginning of the trailer, they said coming to Switch 2 with improved visuals.
Huh.
So I don't know. So maybe DLSS is going to be highly in effect here. I don't know.
Maybe.
So yeah, there's that. Then we got the Tony Hawk 3 and 4 also coming. I think there was a SpongeBob reference in here somewhere. No one else caught it, and I was like, was that SpongeBob? Where is it? Which it might just be like the visual style of the level, maybe, but like, yeah, here.
There you go.
Yeah. That's definitely. Yeah. Then Hitman 1, 2, and 3 all coming to Switch.
Looking nice too.
Yeah, those are great games. If you haven't played them, you should play them. They're great.
I've played the original Hitman games. I really should play the new ones. Yeah, they're
nothing like it.
I know. I've seen the new ones. They're fucking crazy.
So good.
Yeah,
they're basically like sandboxes.
They're sandbox assassination games. Yeah, it's exactly what they are.
Yeah. They also, for whatever reason, reminded us that they have the 007 game coming.
Game. Okay.
Yeah. And it's like, you guys talked about that like 4 years ago, and you still haven't said anything. And then you show up here, and you're like, "Hey, remember us? We're making a Bond game."
Well,
and we're not going to show you anything new.
You know why it is? It's because when you hear Bond and Nintendo, people are going to go, "Oh yeah, I remember GoldenEye." They're hoping to get some of that GoldenEye nostalgia to rub off on their game. That isn't going to be GoldenEye.
No, it's going to be Hitman with James Bond. That's what it's going to be.
Okay. So basically, that Mission Impossible game on the N64.
Hopefully better than that. Hopefully better than that one.
Yeah.
This one was kind of surprising. Bravely Default Remastered.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that surprising. It's just like, okay, cool. Yeah. I did not have a 3DS, so...
Yeah.
now I can play this, even though I know what the story is because it's been out for like 10 years and it's impossible not to get spoiled on stuff after that long. Yeah, Yakuza, here we go.
Yeah, Yakuza 0 Director's Edition.
You gonna be okay there? I asked.
I had a lot of
myself.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah.
Then we had this gem dropped on us. Hyrule Warriors 2,
3.
Basically.
Well, 3. Remember?
Oh, I never played the second one. I don't think.
It was the Age of Calamity one. The war against Calamity Ganon. You never played that one?
Oh yeah, I think maybe that was the one I played. I feel like that's the one I played. What was the first one?
The first one was on Wii U. It was the one where you just Link, and it was just Zelda, and it was like not based on any specific Zelda game.
Yeah,
it was fine. It was fine. It was just it was just Dynasty Warriors with Zelda characters, whereas this has like an actual story. I mean, this is still Dynasty Warriors with Zelda characters, but it has an actual story connection to.
Yeah, I didn't play the Wii U one. That's why I thought it was
the
first one.
It was whatever. It was fine.
Yeah, I liked the Age of Calamity one. So
yeah, it was good.
This one I don't think I'll like as much because the characters are pretty generic. It's just the Onai, or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever. But I'm sure it'll be fun.
Yeah.
They proceed to go on to what was this? Oh, they're just talking about it again.
Yeah, it's footage of the game.
They proceed to go on to tell us about some Switch 2, Nintendo Switch Online stuff.
Yeah, and the least surprising addition to that ever.
Yeah. So the first thing they talked about was that everything from Switch Online on the Switch will be on Switch 2.
Yeah, so God, can you imagine if they had to build that library up again?
Oh,
it's not even where it was. Like, it's not even half. It's not even a quarter of what the Wii U had.
Or the Wii, the Virtual Console was
huge.
No,
not even. It's not even like a tenth of that. But yeah, here we go. Most obvious addition: GameCube.
Yep,
of course, because they're not going to put Virtual Boy on there.
No. And they're kicking things off with Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, which is great.
The best version of that game.
Yeah, and they're all man, I can't speak anymore. They're all up-res with better frame rates on Nintendo Switch Online. And F-Zero GX, which is one of my favorite racing games of all time.
Why would we ever bother making a new F-Zero game?
Yeah, just put out the best. I mean, this was the best F-Zero game. I mean,
come on, man! It's been like 20 years. They could make another one that's not just like F-Zero 99, which was fine, but it's not.
But it's not F-Zero GX. Yeah, like F-Zero. Like this is so sick, and now it's going to be online too.
Oh God, yeah,
online multiplayer. So that's great. And then they showed off another.
It's insane how much better the GameCube version of Wind Waker looks than the Wii U version. Because it doesn't have all that ugly fucking lighting bloom effects. I hate that
I didn't mind that.
Oh, God. It kills all the nice, crisp edges of everything and makes it all blurry and glowy. I hate that shit.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I especially liked the HD remaster because of the faster boat. And
the faster boat is
and the less Triforce pieces.
I didn't mind the Triforce shit. I didn't think it was that bad. Everybody was bitching about it. I was like, why? This wasn't that hard. It took me like
because
an hour
right at the end of the game, they're like, all right, before we get to the end of the game, you got to go on a fetch quest. I was like, what? It's like, if it was just like 3 pieces, cool. But it was like 18. Some stupid
it was 9 pieces.
Okay, well, it's too much. It was too much.
Or was it 8? I don't know. It was the same number as the original.
It was a lot more than the HD remaster. I know that.
Yeah. It was like, you know how you had to get the like 8 or 9 pieces in the original Zelda? It was like that. I'm not saying that it needed
but not as fun.
I'm not saying that it needed to be that many. I'm just saying I don't think it was nearly as bad as anyone is saying.
Yeah, it was just a time sink for it was what do they call that? Padding. It was padding for no reason.
Yeah.
That's what it felt
fair.
Like. Yeah, they as always with Nintendo Online stuff, they got the suspend points, which is great, and customizable controls, which is also great. As they show here. Excuse me. And as they tease here, they will be releasing a GameCube controller for the Switch 2, which they've already done for Switch 1, which is compatible with Switch 2. So I'm not sure why they feel the need to.
Yeah, I have no idea.
The only addition that the Switch 2 one has is that it's got the C button on it.
Yeah.
The chat button. So, I don't know. Yeah, and these are more titles that will be added soon. Super Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem,
Yeah, now
Fire
here's
Path of Radiance.
pause that for a second. So, you notice in Pokemon XD, that little icon at the bottom right, you know what that icon is?
It looks
that
familiar.
That is the GBA to GameCube link icon. What are you going to do in Pokemon XD without a GBA to link to it? I mean, I know that there is a game there beyond just the Pokemon Stadium stuff, but isn't that like a big part of the game is bringing in your own Pokemon to play in 3D? Because that was like the whole point of Pokemon Stadium.
I think, is Pokemon Stadium on the N64 list on Nintendo Online?
I don't know. I don't have the expansion pass.
If I remember correctly, it is, and it doesn't have the Game Boy feature. So
then what's the point? You play with the stock Pokemon in there. Who cares? You want to use the ones. If you could play Pokemon on their virtual console thing and then import the data from there, then it would be fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or if they let you do it from like more recent Pokemon games and they just say, hey, you can only use the Pokemon that are supported by this, then whatever.
Speaking of Pokemon Stadium, there's Pokemon Coliseum with the same logo.
Yep.
So same deal.
I'm happy to see Chibi Robo there.
Hmm.
Why didn't they ever make it? Well, they made like a 3DS one, but whatever.
Yeah. Hopefully we see Eternal Darkness on there at some point.
Oh yeah, we could. Nice. They do own the rights to that.
Yep. So yeah, that'll be available on day one, June 5th when that comes out. And there's the Switch 2 version of the GameCube controller. Looks a little different on the top. Yeah,
well, it's got the extra Z button over on the left. You can see it's a little tiny baby one.
Yeah, very, very small. So then we're going to get into more third-party stuff here. There's Deltarune, which is the Undertale guys' new game. Borderlands 4, which shocked a lot of people. No one thought that this game would ever come out.
Yeah, we didn't. There wasn't enough grease in this presentation, so fucking Randy Pitchford had to show up.
Yeah, he did in his stupid coat. Fuck that guy. There he is.
Why does he look? Is he going for like an Austin Powers thing? What the fuck?
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Oh god, no, I do not want to hear those words out of Randy.
No, definitely not. You don't want to hear him out of me. What are you talking about? Then they showed Civ 7, which was pretty much a given once we knew it had mouse controls.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Although Civ 7 is not really liked right now. So fix that game. Then we had this weird game that I've never heard of. I can't remember what it's called.
Excuse me.
It's just like a puzzle platformer, multiplayer weirdness.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, Survival Kids it was called. And then they showed off a brief teaser of Enter the Gungeon 2, which is now in 3D.
Yeah.
As you can see. Looks pretty cool. Enter the Gungeon is a super hard game. But I do like it. I just wish it wasn't as punishing as it is. This looks like it will be as punishing. Wait for the bullet hell, people. Wait for the bullet hell. Here it comes. Oh, my God.
Yep. Then everything explodes. And
Like, just, Jesus. But that's cool. What else we got? Astroneer. Or no, this is the Astroneer sequel. Star Seeker. This one blew me away. I was like, this looks like Astroneer, but it looks different. Is this a sequel? And I'm not sure if it's a sequel or if it's just like another game in the franchise. Like sort of a spin-off kind of a thing. But yeah, Star Seeker, Astroneer Expeditions. Not coming until 2026, but that's cool. This was a huge one. Cyberpunk. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's running on.
I was quite surprised by that.
Yeah. Considering they canceled the last gen versions.
Yeah.
Or gave up on them, I should say. I'm not sure if did they cancel them or they just gave up on them. I can't remember.
Oh, they came out. That's what the problem was, is they were terrible.
They were released, yeah. Then we had Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, which also surprised me.
Yeah, this isn't just the remake. This is the next gen version of the remake integrated with the DLC. So that's pretty crazy. And then we got into some more crazy stuff. Kanutsugami, which people keep telling me to play. I gotta get to this game. I gotta figure out what the hype's about. So I'll report back because that's on Game Pass. Then of course we get the Silk Song tease.
Yeah,
which
You'll note that Silksong doesn't have a specific date. It has a year.
Yeah, 2025. There it is.
It's still a lot of time in 2025.
Yeah,
and
we'll
that's
see.
not a guarantee either because they've listed years before.
I can't believe that they put this in here. Like, everyone, including me, was like, this is the reaction. Let's see if I can find it there. Where was that they showed? I don't know what that was. But it was like, oh my god, they're gonna do it. Oh,
yeah.
It was like, that quick.
Here comes the date. Fuck.
Yep.
The most non-committal thing you could have, besides TBD, of course, which means nothing.
Yeah. Point Museum. Nothing surprising here. Wild Hearts asked, this is surprising. I don't know. I'm assuming this is just like an enhanced version of Wild Hearts.
I guess.
Witchbrook.
Yeah, Witchbrook. That game we saw like a week ago.
Yep.
Which looked good.
And
Puyo Tetris. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not sure how you make
Tetris.
a sequel to that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Does it have more Puyos? Like, what the fuck?
I have no idea. I played the first one. It was really good.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's great. It's Puyo and Tetris.
That one's surprising too, right there.
I like those
Star Wars
games.
Outlaws.
Yeah.
And that's it. Oh no, they do more. Jesus. Yeah, Fast Fusion. This looks cool. It's like a Wipeout kind of game.
Yeah, wasn't this isn't that a sequel to a game that like launched on the Switch?
I think so. But I don't know what the first one was called. I have it. If it's the same people.
Yeah, you know the game I'm talking about.
Yeah, I have it on my Switch. Let me see if Fast Fusion sequel. Oh. It's literally the same game. It's the Switch 2 edition.
Oh, okay.
I can't. Why does it not ring a bell, that name? Fast Fusion.
I just remember it because it was like it was basically a launch title. It was like within the first
it was
week.
called Fast RMX.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which in itself was a remixed and enhanced version of Fast Racing Neo. So now they're doing it again.
Yeah.
So the Fast Fusion is a remixed, enhanced version of Fast RMX.
It's like Street Fighter. It's like here's Street Fighter 2, here's fucking 2 Turbo, here's Super Turbo.
Crazy. It is a fun game though. I just wish that Wipeout would come back. We talked about Shadow Labyrinth last week.
Yeah.
It's getting its own Switch 2 version. Same thing with this one. We talked about this one.
Yep.
And here's that again. This one. Yep.
I'm not sure why they're reiterating them when they only showed them a week ago, but it's like, why not? Yeah, here's
Fortnite. There you go. Yep. So got to make sure you play the Switch 2 edition. Otherwise it won't work. Ridge Racer. Not sure why they bothered to put this in there. A new Professor Layton. That's very welcomed.
God, that art style looks so good in 3D. They did a great job with that.
Yep. We talked about this last week. Human fall flat. Jesus.
How can you fall flat in zero gravity?
That's a good point. So that was it for that. Then we got into some controversial shit. This was scary watching this trailer live. Let me tell you, because when this trailer was going live, I'm like, what is this? Is this Castlevania? What is?
Well, here's the first thing I thought it was more like Vampire the Masquerade 2 stuff, and then I was like, wait, this is kind of giving me Japanese vibes.
Yeah,
but it's not Bloodborne.
Yeah,
and then I was thinking, is this a Bloodborne? Is this like, because you know how From Software made Dark Souls instead of making Demon Souls 2?
Demon Souls, yeah. It's
because
like,
Sony owned Demon Souls.
Roundabout?
Yeah, is this like Bladeborne or some shit where it's their knockoff of their own thing to get around Sony's ownership of it?
Yeah.
And I mean, it kind of is.
Then we saw the logo. We saw this logo come up, and I was like, no fucking way. What is happening?
Yeah.
So, but
more came out afterwards.
Yeah, a lot more came out afterwards. Not all of which is good. At least in my opinion. So, the Duskbloods is a Nintendo Switch exclusive from
shocking.
Yeah, huge shocker when this came up. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I was like, is that only for Switch 2? Like, instead of just like cross-gen, or is that only for Switch 2 ever.
Yeah, no, this is apparently a Nintendo exclusive. This is a deal that they made. So the first news that
the ass for that.
Oh yeah. So the first piece of news that came out about this is that and I'm not sure if you knew this, but Elden Ring Night Rain is being made by sort of a B team at FromSoft, and is not being led by Miyazaki. This is what Miyazaki has been working on since Elden Ring. It's the Dust Bloods.
Interesting.
And the other part that we found out, and this is where I got super disappointed, is that the Dust Bloods is a 8-player PvPvE game.
Yep.
And I went, well, don't care about that game anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
I just don't. You and I have played a PvPvE game, and I'm not comparing the quality of that game to something that Miyazaki would make, but I just don't give two shits about PvP.
Miyazaki and his A-team. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I meant like whatever that game that we played was.
Yeah, Dungeonborn.
Yeah. Like, I'm not comparing the quality of the game to Miyazaki's game.
And that game, by the way, we've said it before, that game was fine for the most part. It was rough, but it was fine. It was just that we didn't realize that we could be ganked so thoroughly as we were.
Yeah. So, I lost all interest as soon as I found out it was a PvPvE game. I'm like, really? I
am willing to wait and see. I am not as excited as I was before.
Yeah, no, I thought this was going to be like an exclusive Souls, like, an Elden Ring, like they took the Elden Ring idea and were like, all right, we got to make other games using this foundation, and it's not.
And it's
another smaller title.
We did the medieval fantasy riff on Dark/Demon Souls. Let's do the Victorian England horror riff on Bloodborne, which I mean they kind of are doing, but it's an online game, which is kind of weird because online has always been a part of those games, but it's not really the focus.
No,
at least not direct competition generally.
It sucks. It's such a double hurt for me. Because when I saw the Elden Ring Night Rain trailer, I was like, sick, Elden Ring co-op.
Yeah, and then
I saw this and I felt the same way. Yeah. And I was like, really, guys? You're making 2 multiplayer games? Really? Okay. Sure. And apparently the reason is because Miyazaki is like, he makes games that he plays, if that makes any sense. So apparently he's super high on extraction shooters right now. So he was like, well, I'm going to try that. And that's kind of where this came from.
Honestly, is there a better reason to run a game development company?
Sure. Like, games all the power to him. People will eat these games.
Honestly, that's the dream.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
It's just not your thing.
It's just not mine. I just have absolutely no interest in PvP in any of my games. So, like, I just don't. Unless the game is specifically designed as a PvP game and it strikes a chord with me, which is very rare.
Yeah,
like I've
this
played
feels
Overwatch.
More like adapting the formula to PvP.
Yeah, and I just
it could work. We'll have to see. But
it's a ways off. And the gameplay, that quote gameplay that they've shown. Didn't really show any PvP,
and you're not the only person who I've seen saying this. Like I've seen a lot of people go, interest massive, and then interest
just fell off a cliff. Yeah,
so. Yeah. I will see. What's gonna?
I'm not writing it off. I'm just.
What's gonna make it break it for me is how involved the VE part is.
Yeah,
because I really like that. Like I love. Firefight in Halo, for example.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a way to turn off the PvP aspect of it, I'm back in. But
it's definitely disappointing that it's not like a single player narrative game, because that's what
he did address that criticism. I think it was yesterday, saying no, we are not finished with single player games. This is something that he's doing right now.
Yeah.
My assumption is that they're Miyazaki's probably working on something else in addition to.
There's probably
Dust
something in
Bloods,
pre-production right now, something
at
big
the
that's going
very
to take
least.
a long time, and maybe they want to have something else out.
Yeah, so I would imagine the next single-player Miyazaki game won't come until the next gen.
I mean, remember, they put out Armored Core 6 and Elden Ring pretty close to one another. And those are two big games. So
yeah,
and
I
then
have
the
to
Elden
assume...
Ring DLC. So they probably want to work on something that's a little smaller scale.
Yeah, I assume that Armored Core was probably made by the B team that's making...
I don't know exactly what the distribution will work on it was.
No, me either.
But like,
just speculation.
Those are huge projects.
Oh,
like they basically made 3 massive AAA games in as many years.
Yep.
Or at least released them in as many years. They probably want something a little more relaxed.
Yep. Well, we're almost done. We're almost through this. There's a few things left to do. This is one of the other baffling
a sequel to Kirby's Air Ride.
Yeah, and the bigger... So there's 2 things that are completely weird about this. Number one, isn't Kirby's Air Ride basically a kind of a kart racer knockoff?
Yeah.
So you're in the same direct.
Yeah,
you're telling
Mario
me...
Kart. And
yeah, you have Mario Kart World launching with the Switch 2, and then you have this coming out later in the year.
Yeah.
Why?
It's weird.
Are you doing that?
It's weird.
Why did you not space these out by like 5 years?
Yeah.
Like that makes more sense to me. And then the other thing that's fucking weird about it is who's making it. Do you know who's making it?
Well, yeah, it's Sora.
Who?
Sora, Sakurai's team.
Sakurai.
Yeah.
What the fuck why are you putting Sakurai on a fucking Air Ride game?
Because he's the creator of Kirby.
Yeah, but it's Kirby's Air Ride.
He probably wants a break from Smash Brothers, man. Look at what they've put him through.
I mean, sure, but that's the best thing they could put him on.
Maybe he wants to make it. It's his character.
I'd rather see like a full Kirby game then.
Well, we got a full Kirby game. It was Kirby in the Forgotten Land, and there's an enhanced version coming to Switch too.
Yeah. But do you want another Air Ride game?
I honestly don't care.
I know. I don't care about it either. It's like...
But you know what? I wanted another Pokemon Snap game, and we got that. If we could get another Pokemon Snap, I think the Air Ride fans, whoever they are, can get another one.
That's what I'm saying. Who's asking for
I don't know,
Kirby's Air Ride sequel?
Somebody out there wants it, okay? Let them have it. Let them have their fun.
Oh, let them have it, all right. I don't know. I think it's very strange. I think it's also very strange that they've announced it as coming out this year with no gameplay. That's very weird to me.
That is weird
as well.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I'm just baffled. I was so bad. I was like, huh. Well, that's something you could do.
Yeah, that is a thing. Apparently, we have like 5 seconds of cinematic footage, and that's it.
I'm like, what? Well, like this kind of felt like something that shouldn't have even been announced at this direct. In all honesty, like you should have just like.
I kind of feel like they were just like, let's pull out all the fucking stops and show off everything because it is a new system launch.
Yeah,
you know, I think they want to entice people. It's like you remember when you would look at the back of the box of a game system and it would have like 25 screenshots from 25 different games. It's there to hype you up. And some of those games don't come out for that system. Remember Cameo Elements of Power, which is on the back of the GameCube box, but didn't come out until the Xbox 360. Yeah.
So this is what they ended on, which took a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah, and this game
3D Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and it looks great.
It looks fantastic. Looks amazing.
I love the idea of just pulling apart the game world and weaponizing it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. When I saw this, I was like, okay, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
It looks fine.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Open world, Donkey Kong Country, cool. And then boom. And it's like, wait, what?
I'm like, oh, okay.
Like at first I was like, oh, that's just a thing you could go through. And then he comes out the side, I'm like, wait, what? And then you're smashing picking up pieces. Yeah, exactly.
So I heard a great joke about this. They're
this is Red Faction 3?
Yeah, Red Faction Gorilla. I loved it. I was like, oh my god, that's beautiful. Red Faction Gorilla. I love it. Which was a great game, by the way.
It is a great game. I love that game.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's so good that I bought it twice.
Yeah, me too. I bought the remastered edition.
Exactly, I bought that as well.
So good. But yeah, this game looks freaking fantastic. It looks so good.
And then you've got the classic side-scrolling there, but in actual 3D.
And the minecart stuff and everything.
Oh man, this just looks good. And I love the way that DK looks here, because it's like a combination of Miyamoto's original design and Kevin Bayless's design for the Donkey Kong Country games, which I mean they kind of already did for the Mario movie, but like
I was gonna say like that's what he looked like in the movie, right?
Yeah, but I think it's a good look. I think he looks great.
Yeah, at first I was a little off put by it because I'm like, why does he look different? And then I was like, it's new Donkey Kong, new era.
Yeah,
sure,
it's kind of a mix between the two. It does definitely lean more on the Bayless design, but I mean I like that design a lot. It's just now it's like scruffier, and it's got some proportions that are a little closer to the original Donkey Kong. I think it looks awesome.
And he's wearing suspenders.
Yeah, he's wearing pants.
I think they're suspenders, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but they're holding up his pants.
Yeah. That's new.
He's finally wearing more than a tie.
Yeah, except at the end of the trailer, he's naked again for some reason.
Well, I mean, he's a monkey. The fact that he's wearing pants at all is kind of a miracle.
Shocker. Yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza. There he is.
It's a good name. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. I will point out that it's not called Donkey Kong Country Bonanza.
No, but I think that's fine.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying they took out the country, so that I think that's a statement. That they're refreshing the Donkey Kong brand.
Because you had that very Donkey Kong Country-esque section there. I think it's just the country was always a subtitle that they then subtitled on additional stuff.
Everything.
Yeah. It's like how they made Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles and then Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles My Life as a King.
No, Jesus.
It's like at some point the subtitles and the subtitles and the subtitles.
Got to take them off.
You get too much. Just take them out. Just call it Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is a great name.
I was comparing it to Hulk Ultimate Destruction a little bit. Kind of looks like that kind of a style.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, a couple of weird things about this. Well, there's your release date, first of all. It's about a month and a half after the Switch 2 comes out.
Yep.
Which is cool.
Yep.
It gives people a month and a half to get sick of Mario Kart.
Which is never going to happen.
No.
Never, ever.
Man, can you imagine Mario Kart World with DLC, all the DLC they're going to pack into that thing?
Oh, God.
Think about it. They've got that world map that they showed at the beginning, right? It's like, well, time to add on a whole other continent.
Yeah. Oh,
they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Oh, yeah, they probably would.
That'll be their like a generation-long game for sure.
Yeah. Or for Switch 3, instead of, how they didn't make a Mario Kart new for the Switch? They just made Mario Kart 8, but with even more stuff.
World Deluxe.
World Deluxe, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
They could get away with that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they totally could. So yeah, that's the release date. Two things about this game. So number one is, for some reason, they will not tell anyone who made this. They won't tell anyone what team make this.
Odd,
which is
but
weird.
Not odd for Nintendo.
It isn't, but why hide it?
Yeah,
is a little strange.
Yeah.
The one thing that the IGN guys who played it, when they were playing it, they were like, this feels like Super Mario Odyssey. So this might be the Odyssey team that made this game. Apparently it's even down, like from the controls to the way how fluid it feels, to even something as simple as you collect bananas in the game, just like you would moons in Odyssey. And there's even like an animation that's similar to the moons animation.
Honestly, I would not be in the slightest bit surprised if it was like the same engine or like an upgraded version of that tech.
And if it is the same team, that tells me that the next Mario 3D game is probably a ways off.
But
some people were like,
that's why they're launching with Mario Kart.
Yeah, there's people at IGN that are like, oh, I can pretty much guarantee you that we're going to see the next 3D Mario later this year, and I'm like, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah, no, not if it's
I don't
those
know
people working on this.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what you're smoking.
They're
There's
fucking
no
busy,
way.
Man.
Yeah, I'm like, you'll be lucky to get the next 3D Mario next year. Like, it's gonna be a while.
I mean, well,
I think it's gonna
Mario,
be a while.
Yeah, probably. I would not be surprised if there was like a Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition, because they showed off Mario Wonder imagery for the 120 FPS part.
Yeah, there'll be a Switch 2 edition.
I have no doubt that there will be.
Yeah, of Wonder.
But the next 3D Mario, who the fuck knows, man?
Yeah, Odyssey. It's been a long time since Odyssey.
I just hope it's better than Odyssey, because I did not like that game.
I thought it was fine. I liked Galaxy way better.
I liked Galaxy even less. But that game gave me like motion sickness.
Slap you.
No, that game gave me motion sickness because of the camera
that's
angle.
fair.
It's extremely rare for a game to make me feel uncomfortable. That's one of like 5 games in my life maybe that's caused me physical discomfort. Not the only Mario game that's done it.
No.
Fucking Mario Party. That's going to be on our fucking bingo card. Is every time I bring up my Mario Party injury. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, the game looks great, and it's awesome. It's not a long wait.
It is one of the best looking games I've seen here. Like out of all the ones that I want to play, it's like Metroid Prime and this.
Yep. So they went into the bundles. So there's going to be 2 bundles, one without Mario Kart and one with Mario Kart. Why you would buy the one without Mario Kart, I'm not sure, because it's all due to pricing, which we'll get into in a minute. The one thing that does suck about the Switch 2, it makes more sense to buy the bundle. The one thing that is kind of shitty about the bundle, though, is that it is a digital version of Mario Kart World, not a physical. So that kind of blows. So something to note there. And that was it. They finished by basically saying thank you. Look forward to more. Check out more information on our website.
Yep.
So this is where things kind of went off the rails for me, because I did you watch my live stream?
No, I didn't.
Go check out the end of my live stream.
So
not right now, but like do it later.
Here's the reason why I didn't. I was asleep.
Oh, okay, well, that's fair.
I slept in that day, like way more than I meant to.
That's fair. But you can go back and watch the VOD. Just go to it, not right now, but like later on, go to it and watch my reaction to the fact that they didn't announce the pricing.
Yeah, I was like, what's the price, guys? What's the price?
I was speechless.
How much is it, Nintendo?
Speechless.
Why aren't you telling us?
That was, I was like, oh shit. That's really bad if they're hiding this in a press release. I was flipping my shit.
And it turns out there was good reason to be worried.
Very good reason. So I'm going to bring up some info here if my computer will.
Dude, have you done the currency conversion calculation? It's brutal.
I have. Well, I didn't need to because they've announced Canadian pricing now.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
we're gonna get the Canadian tax as well, in addition to the currency.
Where did
I even went and compared the price to a Steam Deck, dude.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about there.
It is not a favorable comparison for the Switch 2.
So yeah, I've got the pricing up here. So the Nintendo Switch 2 system without Mario Kart is $449 US.
Mm-hmm.
The Switch 2 bundle with Mario Kart is $499 US.
Yep.
The Switch 2 Mario Kart bundle in Canada is $699.
Oh, ow.
Yeah, $699.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So then it gets worse because they also revealed pricing of games.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I'll just tell you the pricing of these games here, and this is where things get really shitty.
Yeah.
So, Street Fighter 6, Year 1 to 2 Fighters Edition, fucking terrible name, is $59.99 US. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's standard.
Mario Kart World is $79.99 US.
Yeah, $80.
Which is basically $100 Canadian. Actually, it's more than that now. Actually, if I recall, I think it's going to be like 105, 106. I'm crazy with that. But it gets worse.
That's before tax, by the way.
That's before tax. Yeah. Well, the 106 is with tax, but it gets worse because some things just don't add up here. Donkey Kong Bonanza is $69.99.
Yep.
Why is Mario Kart $10 more than Donkey Kong Bonanza? What's the reason for that? Okay. These are a bunch of questions I'm asking. They're mostly rhetorical.
Mhm.
They're mostly rhetorical.
Mhm.
Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition, not the upgrade.
Not the upgrade, yes.
$69.99. Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition, $79.99.
Yeah.
Super Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 edition,
Oh, this is going to be bad.
$79.99.
I would never pay $80.
They are asking you to pay
$80
the same
US
fucking amount. Yeah.
For a Mario Party game.
Yeah. The same price as Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Kart World. They're charging the same price for Super Mario fucking Party Jamboree. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. What are you smoking?
Well, I'll tell you why they do it for that. It's because one person buys the game for an entire group of friends. They all just collect at their friend's house to play it. So they jack up the price to compensate for the fact that four
And now they got Game Share.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the virtual, what do they call that? Virtual game card?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition, $79.99.
Jesus Christ.
Now, a couple of extra things here that will make it worse.
Oh, no.
If you want an extra set of Joy-Cons.
Oh, this is what I knew was coming next.
$89.99 USD.
Why the fuck do they cost more than games?
$89.99 USD.
Do you remember when controllers were like half the price of a game?
Yeah. Yeah, what the fuck happened to that?
Well, I mean, the controllers are much more complex now, but even so, like,
but Jesus Christ, guys, come on. Yeah.
Now they're like 3 times more than they used to be.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Joy-Con 2 charging grip, $34.99. Nintendo Switch Pro controller, or Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller,
$90.
Get this.
Oh God.
$79.99. $10 less than the Joy-Cons. Okay. Why?
I mean, I guess it does technically have less functionality. You can't use it, like, split it apart, but it's the more desirable thing 90% of the time.
Weird.
And the
Switch 2...
Didn't the Switch 1 Pro controller cost either more or the same as a set of Joy-Cons?
I don't remember. I know it was expensive. But it's Canada. Everything's expensive up here.
Yeah.
Switch 2 camera, $49.99.
Well, for a decent USB camera, that's actually pretty reasonable.
It's not a good camera though.
Is it? How do you know?
Because did you see the pixelation on the people on that stream? It looked terrible.
Yeah, but we don't. That's after like
look at me right now.
Yeah.
Okay, guess how much this camera was?
How much did that camera cost?
$29.99 Canadian.
Yeah, but I mean, I can see that camera's got issues.
It's better than the Switch 2 camera.
No, dude.
Oh, guarantee you.
No.
I guarantee you it's better than the Switch 2 camera.
No.
That Switch 2 camera, I guarantee you, is it's 480p. There's no way it's more than that.
No.
Let's see. Does it say? Let's see.
I bet it doesn't say, but I bet it's it is not. It's come on.
No,
there's no way. There's no way.
It doesn't say. I don't know. It didn't look good to me.
Yeah, but what you saw there was mostly footage that was either in the little 10 FPS window or stuff from the like Kinect style games where the quality is going to be shit because they're compressing it to get it through quickly.
Well, here's the weird thing: is that if you go back and watch that footage, the camera doesn't run at 10 frames per second. Only the screen sharing does.
Well, whatever. The point is,
but it's weird.
You were not seeing optimal performance of that camera.
No.
Which, admittedly, if that camera is going to be mostly used for that stuff, you're not going to be using it for optimal performance either. That's a fair point to make. But
yeah,
I've seen webcams that cost way more than that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then finally, the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. If you want a separate dock, $109.99.
That's a lot. It comes with the dock, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah. The Switch 2 does come with a dock. This is an extra dock or a replacement.
Yeah.
If yours dies.
Yeah.
which now that it has components in it, is significantly more possible that dock is not going to last the whole lifetime of the system. So yeah, there's that sticker shock.
That is crazy.
And then finally, this isn't Nintendo specific, but it is something to note. GameStop, and I'm not sure if this is
going to apply to us.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to apply to Canada. I'm not sure if did you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So GameStop is offering Switch 2 reservations at a discount if you trade in your old Switch.
Oh, you're talking about a different thing.
Okay, yeah, I'm talking about a different thing.
Okay.
So you can trade in your Switch Lite for a Switch when you do a Switch 2 reservation, and get $100 off the console.
Yeah, okay.
If you do a Switch version 1 or version 2, $125 off the console.
Okay.
Switch OLED, $175 off the console.
That's for GameStop. That's incredibly generous.
That's incredibly generous. I was shocked.
If you went to trade in for store credit, you'd get like $50.
Yeah, and if you are a pro member of whatever their
whatever
thing is, you get 10% more.
That okay? That is a better deal than I ever expected to hear from GameStop. That's not the thing I was thinking of.
Yeah, what were you thinking of?
I thought you were talking about the tariffs thing.
Oh yeah, we haven't got to that yet. So yeah, that's the last piece of news. Is that pre-orders were supposed to go live on the 7th or the 8th, I think it was,
something like that.
For pre-orders for the Switch 2, for the June 5th release date, which they still are, unless you live in the US. And if you live in the US, they have been delayed as Nintendo is reevaluating what we have to assume is the price
in light
of the console due to the tariffs that Donald Trump has imposed on the world.
This is a weird situation in which we might still end up actually somehow paying less.
Yeah.
Depending on how this shakes out.
Yeah.
Like us paying at least $640 for the base unit before tax, because that's the currency conversion. It's like $641.72 or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
That might end up being less than they pay in US dollars.
Yeah, so
but it
April
also
9th
might end
was
up
the date.
It might end up being more, because if they import them to Canada through the United States, God, we're gonna get
that would be
fucked.
Yeah, I mean, why even bother selling it here if that ends up being the case?
I assume they probably import them through Canada, just because it's a shorter trip. I mean, I guess the shortest route is to Alaska, but why the fuck would you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to find. There was
it probably makes the most sense to bring them in at like Vancouver or something.
Shit, I think it was. Where the fuck was it?
Or who knows?
Maybe, where it was,
maybe they deliver shipments to Canada instead of bringing them in through the States. I don't know how Nintendo's shipping operates.
So here's the thing: is that I can't find the freaking article now. I don't know where I saw it, but I guess where Nintendo manufactures the Switch 2, whatever country that was, that's what I'm trying to figure out, is what country it was, to check what the tariff was.
China.
No, it's not China. It was some other country in Asia. I don't remember where. But they got tariffed really hard. So they're people are theorizing that if they do a price change, it could be significant in the US. It could be $6.99. That it could be that high because the country that got tariffed, they got one of the bigger ones. It was like 43% or something shit like that.
Jesus Christ.
So that could make a huge difference on the price of the Switch 2.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't affect, so I mean, this is neither here nor there, and we don't typically talk politics, but I simultaneously feel bad for half of the country.
Yeah.
And then simultaneously I'm going, sucks to be you, to the other half of the United States, where I'm like, you hired them.
Yeah.
Good job. now you're going to pay for it. Congratulations. Yeah. But it does suck for all those people that didn't vote for him. It sucks so bad. Like, I would be so fucking furious that my country was that stupid. But yeah, so
and the thing is, these tariffs, these don't just affect electronics. These affect
it affects everything.
Everything.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, if we were to go
into a deep dive, it's not
just
luxury goods. It's like food and shit.
Yeah,
that's whatever isn't grown in the States, which is a lot of shit. It's about to get way more expensive. It's everything.
Yeah. You guys want maple syrup? Fuck you.
Oh God, that's right. We make 80% of the world's supply.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, pancakes are gonna suck there for the next 4 years. Well, until he runs it back.
Yeah.
And
well,
then
until the next president runs it back, I'm sure. Yeah, he won't run it back, I don't think.
Well, you never know.
He's a fucking nut job. Who cares? So yeah, that is the Switch 2 full reveal. Man, that was a lot of information.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you 2 questions before we finish off, because we're at 3.
We're nearly 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of time here. We're okay. 2 questions. Number 1, what did you think of the Direct itself?
I thought it was fantastic. It was wall-to-wall information. They showed off way more games than I thought they would. When I saw that it was longer than like 25 minutes, I assumed that the first half of it at least was going to be that red title card that says the show starts at whatever. But no, they just went right into it. They just went right into it from start to finish. It was an hour. It was 62 minutes of nothing but information. More of that, please.
Yeah. So you remember how I complained about the Switch 1 Direct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day. This one is exactly how you do a Direct.
And,
this
was honestly,
nearly perfect.
Like, I know I bitched out at you a lot last week saying like, oh, you could skip it. But seeing this has kind of pulled me more to your side a little bit, because I didn't even have to skip ahead. It was just so convenient. I could just watch everything.
So good.
I still think
especially for an hour-long presentation.
Yeah, I still think you over-complained about it, but I appreciate a well-put-together show much more now that I've seen the A and the B so sharply contrasted. Because usually
it's so weird.
Yeah, Directs are months apart, and you don't really compare them like back to back like this. But this really does put it in contrast. So you were more right than I gave you credit for. It does make a difference.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the one thing that blew me away. I'm like, how did they screw up the other Directs so badly in comparison to this?
Maybe
mind blowing.
Maybe they were thinking, oh, we could put this here. No, we'll save it for the next one. But now we have to fill for time. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they wanted the old one to look bad on purpose.
Make themselves look even better.
Yeah, because they're like, Switch 2 is going to look so much better if we do a shitty one first. Who knows? But yeah, that first one was bad.
Crazier things have been done in marketing.
It's true.
Yeah, that show was like, that is, I think I can say that is the best Direct Nintendo's ever put out. It's certainly the best one I can think of.
That might be one of the best console reveals of all time. Oh
yeah, absolutely. Presentation wise, like even going back to like E3 shows, like the amount of cool shit, like that takes me back to like, I know I sound like a fucking old man here, but do you remember E3 2004 when they showed off the DS?
Oh God, was that the one where they had the ladies walk around, or was that the 3DS?
That might have been the 3DS. That was the one where like Reggie reaches into his coat pocket and pulls it out, or pulls out the prototype unit at least. That was such a good E3 show. That was like, to me, that was like, oh, this is how you show off a new system, right? Because they were showing off a bunch of stuff. They had, Reggie was super charismatic. Or like Sony's 2016 E3 showing where they had fucking Kojima come out to the Mad Max soundtrack and the staircase is lighting up and he shows off Death Stranding. Like this to me is like that level of like just, we just put in everything. We put in everything.
Yeah, and there was only like 2 missteps, like it was not a botch fest of bad decisions. It was just so good.
Yeah.
Second question before we move on. Will you buy one day one?
That's more of a question for my bank account than it is for me.
I mean, whether I take my bank account into account or not, the answer is no. There's no way I'm spending. I will get one. Yeah. I'm not saying I won't get one ever, but there's no way I'm buying one at launch.
I mean, if you were to hand me $700 right now and ask me, "Are you going to spend this on a Switch 2?" I would say, "Yeah, probably." Probably.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I mean, there's not really a whole lot coming out that well, like, let me put it to you this way. Metroid Prime 4 is the thing I'm most hyped for.
Mm-hmm.
And I could play that on Switch, but my Joy-Cons are drifting, and I'm going to be getting the less, optimal version. And I'm going to get a Switch 2 anyway. I might as well get it as early as I can, unless there's some kind of tremendous issue. So if you were to hand me 700 Canadian dollars right now, yeah, I'd hold on to that for Switch 2. Do I have that kind of
right? It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
It's a shitload of money.
Do I have that kind of liquidity right now? I mean, I have more than $700.
You could make it work, but it would be not pleasant.
Work. I would have to eat a lot of ramen noodles.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
The grocery that would eat into my grocery budget for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Will I be able to do it by the time it comes out? I don't know. It's
only 2 months away.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to say yes. I'm gonna have to see what comes of this tariff shit and if it affects us in any way.
Yeah.
Because if it suddenly shoots the price up like another $50 or something, another $50 American dollars.
Oh yeah, that's another $100 less.
Yeah, that's like a make or break thing for me. As it stands, they've made a really strong case. So I'm not going to say yes, but I'm definitely not going to say no. I'm going to say I would very much like to, and I'm going to try and make it work. But I can't give you a concrete yes. I'm going to say I'm going to try to make it work.
Okay. I'm going to say no. They did everything they could to sell me on it, and they did enough. But that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. There's no getting around that.
Yeah, there's just no. That's going to be their biggest hurdle is the price.
Yeah.
That being said, though, these people that are overreacting to the price are, in my opinion, overreacting because this is a beast console, man.
It's pretty beefy. It's definitely
4K HDR, 120 frames per second.
Relative
DLSS.
to the current Xbox and PlayStation versus where the Switch was relative to the then current Xbox and PlayStation, this is in a much better position, I think. I mean, we don't know what the specs of it are yet, and Nintendo's never going to release those.
No.
Somebody else will have to tear it down.
It's a custom GPU, so they're never going to tell us.
Well, I mean, you can there are all sorts of things you can do to figure this shit out, including tapping the wires if you want to with an oscilloscope and figuring out what the frequency is. There's ways of doing it. But I mean, it's pricey and it's powerful, but it is pricey. And I understand why people are apprehensive about it, especially right now where there's just so much uncertainty with all the tariffs and shit. Don't worry, you are back. I was just talking through it. There's a lot of uncertainty right now with regards to money, and in so many ways that it's like
it's going to be tricky.
I don't think that people are necessarily overreacting because like shit's getting expensive and wages are not going up. I know I just played Disco Elysium. I'm not going to jump into the full anti-capitalist shit. I'll say that for next week when I talk about the game. But like, it's just...
Yeah, I get it. It's a lot of money.
It's a very expensive thing at a time when people are very uncertain. It's bad timing is what it is.
And it is Nintendo's most expensive console.
It is.
But in hindsight, the games are still cheaper. Despite them being more expensive than they were last generation, they're still cheaper than they were 20 years ago.
When you
adjust for inflation,
and when you adjust for inflation, yes. But the thing is that because wages haven't gone up, it doesn't matter. like wages haven't adjusted for inflation at the same rate. So
That's
it actually does come out to be more expensive.
That's fair.
It's not as bad as it looks, but it is still worse.
Yeah.
And of course, costs of other things have also gone up in relation to inflation, while wages haven't. Rent's going up everywhere. It is getting more expensive, and people are not getting paid more money accordingly.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I can see why Nintendo, a company that typically undercuts the competition by at least $150, if not more than that. I mean, the Switch launched at like $300. Admittedly, that was without a game, but that's still $150 cheaper than the gameless version now. That's a lot. That's a big jump. Yeah. Typically, those jumps are $50 per generation, not $150.
Yeah.
So I don't think people are overreacting. I think in terms of like rhetoric, people always overreact on the internet. It's always the end of the world. But I do think that like people are frustrated with just the pricing of everything being the way it is.
That's fair. I don't disagree on that. That's definitely for sure. And their president's not making it any better.
Nope.
All right. Cool beans. I will not be getting one. I will wait and see I will wait for the inevitable OLED version to see where we are at that point in time in terms of pricing, in terms of the world.
Do you think an OLED version of this will come sooner than the last one?
My guess is probably 2 or 3 years. Is my guess.
Yeah, I think it will as well, because now that they've seen, now that they've got now that they've worked with OLED screens and they have an idea of what the pricing is and how to integrate it into the Switch, I don't think it'll be a big deal to do that for Switch 2. I'm a little surprised that they didn't just go with OLED right from the get-go, but
the LCD does look good, so I'm not saying that
it looks amazing, and it will be cheaper than an OLED because LCD tech has been around way longer.
Yeah, like I'm not shitting on the LCD decision. I think that the screen looks great from what I've seen.
Yeah, and if it keeps the price down, then I think it's the right decision.
Yeah, like if the OLED version comes out and the LCD version continues to be sold, but at like $100 cheaper, I'll probably just go with that version.
What price point would sell it for you?
Canadian?
Yeah.
Like if I was going to buy it day one, or just $399.
$399.
I couldn't. That's $699 is insane.
Yeah, it is. It's completely nuts. I would.
I mean, I understand why it's expensive. Our dollar sucks right now compared to the American dollar, which might change shortly.
God, who knows?
Yeah, but I get the economic reasons.
There you go.
Yeah, I get the economic reasons for it. But in my brain, I'm still stuck in the late 2000s when the dollar was equal to the American dollar and like
or closer to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Canadian dollar was actually more valuable than the American dollar for a few months in the late 2000s.
There was a period in I want to say 2009 or something where the Canadian dollar. I think it was related to the recession, but the Canadian dollar jumped ahead.
Yeah,
and was
crazy.
Worth more for a brief time.
Yeah, my mindset's stuck in that time, and I'm like, we've never got back there, and it's just like $699. It's just that's not what I envision in gaming to be. Like that's so expensive. It's like if I'm going to spend $699, I might as well just save a little bit more and get like a beast PC that's going to last me like 12 years.
Get a Steam Deck, because I looked up the prices on Steam Decks, and guess what? The base Steam Deck is less money.
It isn't as powerful though.
Well, we don't know what the specs of the Switch 2 are, but it probably isn't as powerful.
I mean, it doesn't have DLSS built in because it's not NVIDIA infrastructure. It's only a 720p screen.
Technically it's 800p, but yeah,
800p. Sorry, yeah, but it just I think it would be more of a fair comparison to the Steam Deck 2 whenever we get that to compare those two.
Also, remember the Steam Deck is a full computer. Or you can make it a full computer if you want. There's work involved. There's work involved for sure.
And if you plug it into a monitor, it doesn't there's no upscaling or rendering. It's just outputting the video to the screen, right? It's not All right, we're running low on time. So let's get to the final segment of the show.
Right.
Let's have a little bit of fun. If I can load it. Guess the game. Let's do it.
Screenshot scope. Let's do this shit. Man, that looks like some Diablo 3 ass lighting. Don't you think? Doesn't that look like shafts of light coming up in the expansion episode from some ghostly?
It could be.
Try it. Diablo 3.
That looks like a finger, though.
Maybe. Well, let's just rule it out. No.
83.
Oh, hold on. Is
this Disco Elysium? Oh wait, no. This is. I recognize that. It's Far Cry. It's Far Cry. I'm pretty sure, or Call of Duty.
83. It could be either way.
Those visuals look weird though. That looks like almost painted. But that looks like Call of Duty. I think it's Call of Duty.
But which one?
It's got to be a recent one. It could be Black Ops 6.
Sure.
Nope, it's not Black Ops 6 because it's not in there. What was the most recent one? Oh, World War II? No, it is a Call of Duty game. Oh shit, it's older than that.
Okay.
PS3.
Modern Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare? Yeah, Modern 2?
Yeah, let's try 2.
Fuck.
3? We're gonna burn through them all! This isn't fair, man.
Well, come on. 2012?
Oh, Advanced Warfare.
Oh, it's Advanced Warfare. No!
Oh, fuck. Ghosts?
It's from Treyarch.
I don't know which ones they make.
They make Black Ops, normally.
Could it be just Black Ops 1?
No, this looks more modern. Might be Black Ops 2. There we go.
That was bullshit. That's like saying which of these NHL games is it?
Hey, we got it though.
Yeah, we did, but
keep an eye on my timer for me because I can't see it. It's hidden behind my upload button.
We got 20 minutes.
Oh, okay, we're good.
Chrono Cross.
Holy shit! Nice. Damn. You're gonna win the big one on this one. We should be keeping track of the nailed it. You nailed it. Damn. Nice job.
Oh God. This is looking a little bit Halo-ish.
Oh, Halo 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Nope, not a Halo game. 75.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not Halo then. What is that? It's some kind of creature, but I don't know what.
It looks like a Yeti almost.
And it looks like it's like preying on some other critter.
75.
Maybe this is like Borderlands, the pre-sequel or something.
Not with a monkey.
I'm just trying to think of what's kind of cartoonish looking and gets a 75.
Yeah, well, we could do pre-sequel. It's definitely not the ones that I've played. No. Oh shit.
Oh, could it be a Kung Fu Panda game or maybe no? Well, no.
There's like there's like a soldier there with like armor on. See the crown and all that.
Move the
What the fuck is this?
Well, so what's got pandas?
Yeah, I have no fucking idea.
It's not Mists of Pandaria.
No. PC,
and it's not cartoonish
PS3.
enough to be the Kung Fu Panda game, which I have played because it came with my Xbox.
This looks pretty. The visuals look pretty good for a PS3 360 game.
I'd say they look kind of in line. God, could it be one of those fucking Cabela games?
What is that?
Cabela's Dangerous Hunts or some shit.
Oh no, This guy looks like an Elden Ring dude. He's
I
got
don't
like
know.
armor on and like a cape. It's not Elden Ring, I know that, but like,
Yeah.
I think skip this one. Get another picture.
At least try Cabela's Dangerous Hunts. Just see. We can rule it out. No. Okay, so it's not even.
What the fuck is this?
Is that a piece of UI in the top right? Or is that a flag from the ship? Could be either one.
Could be a flag. I have no idea what this is.
Action role playing.
I mean,
it's not like an Assassin's Creed.
No, there's no panda. That's for fucking sure.
It's not Jade Empire because that's Xbox original exclusive.
Yeah. Two Worlds?
Maybe. No. 2009.
What the fuck is? What is this? Oh, is this that? Rygar? That Rygar game? Or is that too old?
Rygar's,
they made like a 3D.
Rygar's like on the NES.
No, they made like a 3D Rygar game.
Did they?
Yeah.
I was gonna say like maybe it's Overlord.
Oh, with a ship? It could be.
Or maybe Overlord 2.
Oh, wow. That was a deep cut. Holy shit.
Because you got the minions there.
Yeah. Damn.
The
ship threw me off.
That was a shot in the dark. I'm going to say that was a shot in the fucking dark.
Oh, good call, though. Damn. Oh, God. Anything.
I almost wish it was grass.
Right?
I'm getting nothing off of this. I don't even recognize what that fire effect could be from. It looks all right.
Yeah, no, it looks kind of detailed. I'll just say Darksiders 3. That had lava in it. I know it did. No. 83. Well, that doesn't help at all. The fuck is that?
That looks modern. Like modern architecture. You know, like a railing, stylized. You might see at a bank or a fancy hotel or something. You know what I mean?
I got nothing.
Well, there's a lot of games.
Oh, Payday. Could be Payday.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say
maybe
Payday
3.
No, I think Payday. People hate Payday 3.
Okay, well,
so they wouldn't have gotten 83. No, it's not Payday. What the fuck? PS4, Xbox One.
That is like a theme park ride.
It's Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that first picture? Yeah. I mean, it is a pretty game.
Yeah.
It's definitely not fun to play though. That's a bad game.
I'm glad people waited a decade for it. Huh. It's very monochromatic, but it looks a little too detailed to be a 360 or PS3 game.
Yeah.
Maybe The Order 1886?
No.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look that good.
That game's kind of colorful too, by comparison.
Yeah,
at least
it's got a lot of blues.
Yeah.
Nothing Souls-like coming to mind?
No.
Okay. Skip. Last Guardian. It's a very brown game. Nope. 91.
Oh, maybe it's the fucking Shadow of the Colossus remake? I don't think it looks good enough for that, but the last screenshot looked too good to be Shadow of the Colossus on the PS2, so
I don't think it's Shadow. No. 360 game?
Oh god.
A 360 game got a 90. It's got to be Gears of War.
Yeah, it can't be Otogi.
Yeah,
because that's in the original Xbox.
I'm gonna say Gears 3 because I don't recognize this thing, and 3 is the one I've played the least.
Oh, there you go. Process of elimination.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely got the appropriate amount of brown. It's funny. I thought Gears of War, but I was like, no, that looks way too detailed to be a Gears of War game on the 360.
That's why I was like, if it's going to be one, it's going to be the third one. It's like, I've only played it once, but
it's definitely got the brown.
Gears of War 3 has one of the best campaigns I've played. So good.
I only played a little bit of the first one. I didn't like it.
This is Donut Country.
Oh, okay. I was going to go with Untitled Goose Game, but they both look very similar. Boom.
Yeah, it's a weird fucking game.
1 for 1 on nailing it.
I don't even think I've played the. I played the demo, but it's a weird game.
I love it when the developer is just the name of the guy. Like, way to go, man.
Name of the guy.
Yeah, it just said the developer Ben Esposito.
Oh yeah, the dude,
instead of like a company name, it's just the guy who made it because it's a one-man thing. Oh,
is this DEF CON?
It might be, yeah.
Yeah, DEF CON. God, which one was it called? I think it was just
War Games DEF CON 1, wasn't it? Oh, it was just DEF CON. Okay.
Yeah. I played this game a lot. That's a fun game.
Oh, Introversion Software. Isn't that the
Uplink guys, I think.
Yeah, and Darwinia, right?
Maybe.
And Scanner Sombra.
Yeah, I'd recommend that game. The game's good. If you like real-time strategy, but you can like, it's a little bit more it's more in depth than that.
It's more like Risk and less like Command and Conquer. To a certain degree.
No, it's more like, I don't know. It's very hard to explain. I don't have time to explain it.
Yeah.
With the limited time we have left, 12 minutes, I think. Oh Jesus.
God. I'm gonna do something bold here. I'm gonna say Deus Ex Invisible War. Damn.
Nope.
I thought that was the shower tiles from the beginning of the game.
Oh, it's Picross. There's like 1,000 Picross games though.
Oh God.
Oh no, it's not. It's
it's a PSP game, Luminous.
Luminous, yeah. Oh, which one though? Jesus.
I'm gonna say
the first one.
There you go.
Oh, remastered. They
well, whatever.
It. Yeah. I don't like that game. It's not a fun puzzle game to me.
It's okay.
There's a lot of people that love it, but no, it's just not for me. I like games like it.
It's a good time killer for me, but like I'd play almost anything else.
I'd rather play Meteos.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Super Mario World.
Yeah, Super Mario World. Yeah, gotta be.
That's the easiest shit ever.
It's like the second level. Yep.
You know, have you ever noticed how like every song in the game is a remix of that theme?
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
Especially the castle music and the haunted house music. They just twerk them.
Just slow it down.
Oh, this is Layers of Fear.
Boom. Man, we're killing it.
We are absolutely killing it. I think we have time for one more. I don't want to risk getting that 4-hour mark. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man.
Oh, Assassin's Creed 4.
Oh, you always know the Assassin's Creed games.
Oh, it's not.
No.
Oh, 57. No. Oh, Jesus.
Ooh, get shit on. That's a piece of UI.
It's probably Green Hell. That game is notoriously bad. Oh.
Nope.
I'm in that realm, though.
Ark.
No, it's Dead Island. It's Dead Island.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Not a 61 or 57.
Well, if it was the original Witcher.
Witcher? Maybe. No?
No, okay, it's Dead Island.
Did I go to 57 on Metacritic? There's no way.
Dude, do you remember how that game launched? Or was it Dead Island 2? It's Dead Island 2. It's Dead Island 2.
No, it's not. It's 2013. There's no way. It's Dead Island Riptide.
Or whatever. That was the next one. It wasn't literally called Dead Island 2.
That one, I believe, got fucking railed up the ass by reviews.
That game, as I recall, launched with an incomplete build. Like, they shipped the wrong build.
Yeah.
And they had to patch in the final build. God.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember
the first
Cold Fear?
Dead
This looks like Cold Fear if it was first person.
Yeah.
Remember Cold Fear?
I do.
And that is
Looks
why
good. This
I
looks
named the
good,
game
though.
Cold Fear, because it was cold and he was afraid. Did you ever see that Mega 64 video?
Jesus. That's classic.
I am Gunther! Dude, if you ever want to see those guys' best work, Evangelion in 5 minutes. Holy shit. It's much longer than 5 minutes, but it's worth it.
Does it have legs?
Let's not go back to this. We can't. We can't. We're so close to the 4-hour mark, man. We can't do this.
We are. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Press Pause, a gaming podcast, episode 39. If you want to reach me, I am at TJ-Leo on BlueSky.
I'm at... I almost went the whole episode without fucking up. I am at ninjas on BlueSky.
If you want to email us, you can do so at co.op.podcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to comment, like, share this video, and subscribe. You know where to go for all that good stuff. This was a fun episode.
Mm-hmm.
That was a deep dive.
Yep.
And we'll be back next week. Maybe with an extra.
Maybe. Who knows?
If time permits.
Yep.
All right, this has been Press Pause, the gaming podcast. We out.
Keep your legs on.